Domino's Perfect Combo, and it's all just $19.99.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's HomeAdvisor. HomeAdvisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that HomeAdvisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
So looking for the right bank? Experience the difference at Southern States Bank. We're not just your bankers, we're your partners. Southern States Bank, your community, your bank. SouthernStatesBank.net. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, and MLS number 410611.
Arnold here from Cowie to Force. Cowie to Force is Newman's own addiction recovery support center. We exist to provide recovery support services for individuals and family members who have been impacted by addiction. Our services are no cost, and all of our information is available on our website at www.cowitoforce.org or follow us on Facebook.
Keep your home safe with HomeScan inspections. Our licensed and accredited professionals know exactly what to look for in order to prevent safety hazards and costly defects that may be found in your home. Ask about our free roof and termite inspections to ensure all areas are covered. Visit homescaninspector.com or send a text to 770-855-5678. HomeScan Inspections, where knowing matters.
Wishbone Fried Chicken is back in a brand new location. 31 Jackson Street, Suite A here in Newton. Same great taste, the best chicken around. Fish dinners, open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's Wishbone Fried Chicken, right next door to their former location, bringing you the best chicken around. So great. Wishbone Fried Chicken, 31 Jackson Street, Suite A, here in Newton.
Hey there, folks. Looking for the top expert in Medicare, health insurance, and life insurance? Look no further than CP Financial. Meet Charmaine, your trusted agent. Charmaine works with multiple
Good morning.
ensuring you get the options tailored just for you. Why settle for less when you can have the best? 706-525-5931 and speak to Charmaine, CP Financial top local sales agent. Your peace of mind is just a call away.
Hey, sports fans. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. Drive time on WQEE. Braves Country is a Southern sports talk show with Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. That's Braves Country with Mac McGee and the Armchair Quarterbacks. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of The Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day.
Good morning, everyone. We're getting started shortly.
The best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Are you looking for a reliable dental practice that not only cares about your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers great deals and new patient promotions? Well, your search is over. Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton, Georgia is committed to giving you the biggest and brightest smile. Right now, get a $99 new patient special, including x-rays and exam. Maybe you're looking for veneers. Most Valuable Smiles veneer special includes one free veneer with every 5 purchased. Or get that bright white smile you've always wanted by taking advantage of an exclusive $100 off Zoom whitening treatment when you book today. And don't forget that
We'll get started shortly, guys.
That means most insurance policies will reset by the new year, and to avoid losing that extra money, you need to use it or lose it. Book an appointment today with Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton to lock in these exclusive deals. Call 706
Just had a cool one.
0318 or visit mostvaluablesmiles.com.
This is the Make a Difference Minute
and the Mark White Show.
Marmac Real Estate has 8 offices throughout the state of Alabama. That includes Decatur, Hartselle, Coleman, Florence, Killen, Beach, and Dauphin Island. There are more than 140 agents throughout Alabama. You can easily reach one of those agents by going to marmac.us and tell them the Mark White Show sent you. On this Make a Difference Minute, I have publisher of East Athens Living
Good morning to everybody.
Living Magazine, Archie Bartlett. Local does sell people
people care about local. They care about what's next to them. They care about what's across from them. They care about their fans, their friends.
Hey, Sapatora. Oh, thank you. Hey, that's not a put down, Mario. Good morning, Christopher. How you doing?
Their stories that you don't get on the broadcast channels, you don't get on the local stations either. The more you get to tell those type of stories, I think the better the community is.
Look at Max from Sapatora. That's Sapatora. That's an honor. At least we know you're cool, Mario. Good morning, Christopher. How you doing?
About little leagues and things like that. Those types of stories that are in print are keepsakes. People keep them. They want them. They love them. And I always wanted to be able to do that and also to make sure that they got it for free. And so that was the big impetus for me wanting to be able to start this. How do I make it easy for people to tell their stories, need to be in the community, and for all this to happen as free as possible to those.
We're getting started after the break.
That was the biggest goal today.
The views and opinions of this show.
He's pretty much right about that. What's up, everybody? What's going on? That's right. It's a weird Wednesday. We got Brenda Ganske joining us in the final period, Horrifying history host, and today's lesson is a body brokerage here in the United States. We'll get into that in the final period. Get your pens and papers ready. But first, let's kick off period number 1. Who am I? I'm RyanORadio, Penitentiary host, the one, the only Ryan Neal. And of course, I am the game. 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast. Shout it out loud across the RyanORadio media page. Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, the Navajo Nation with 25 internet and real radio stations out there. We're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada. Hey to Vicky and the crew there. And right here in Atlanta's very own 99.1 FM, WQEE the Key, home of Southern sports, inspirational talk, and more. The real talk of Atlanta, the only live that's going on. Real live morning programming. And wherever you may be, it's night, evening, afternoon, overnight, we welcome you into the RyanORadio Penitentiary on the YouTube page. You guys are in lockdown, and we appreciate everybody being with us. To our haters, I got one thing to say to them. I am the man around here, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to Christopher joining us this morning on the YouTube page. What's up, Christopher? Also, Mr. Owen, Mr. Boxing Fighter. Good morning. Big up in Georgia. Good morning to you. We also hello to a brand new listener. Shall it be? And Mario. I got to love Mario now. He's come on. He said I look like Max from Sapatora. For some of those out there, like, who's that? And you're not hip enough to know who they are. Hardcore thrash band from Brazil. That's it. I'm doing good this morning, buddy. How are you doing this morning? Hope you're doing great. What's with the trick question, bro? Just trying to get you guys out there. Well, it's your decision, whichever one you think seems the weirdest. I have a bunch of weird facts we're going to go since it's Weird Wednesday. Brenda Ganske joins us for Horrifying History. She's going to be your guest professor in the final period. We're going to be talking about body brokerages and deaths and destruction and all that kind of stuff. Well, somebody buying bodies in the United States. It's all cool. So always sending love, brother. Thank you, CDP. That's what we're going to call you, CDP. There you go. It's going to be your nickname, CDP. And because we got to get quickly in there. All good, said Christopher. Mr. O is saying he's doing good this morning, too. So there you go. We'll get into the poll question in just a few moments. All the main sports are done. We got baseball. We'll talk a little Braves and Falcons, just Dirty Bird stuff. I've got pre-crime news for you this morning. Since tomorrow's True Crime Thursday, We got some pre-crime news we're going to talk about, and who killed WCW. That's going to be our focus tomorrow as I finish up that series on tomorrow's True Crime Thursday. It's going to be one of my focuses. And, why not put that on True Crime Thursday? Who killed WCW? Which of these guys did? La-di-da-di-di-di-do. We'll get into that. Plus, this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dedicate the morning to a couple of deaths this morning. Hello, Jake. How you doing this morning? What's up with Alexander the Great Fact? He was buried alive. There's only so much you can put in those things, and it just won't let you, put the whole thing you want to put in there. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Roman Reigns' father has passed away. The former WWE Universal Champion's real father, who was part of the Wild Samoans, Sikoa, passed away. And the lead singer from Crazy Town passed away as well. So, Butterfly. I might play a little bit of that in the background. We'll see. We might try to get in some of the wrestling matches from the Wild Samoans. You never know. Paul E. Dangerously, now known as Paul Heyman, was the Wild Samoans manager as well. So, big connection there. Day 264 for the Israel-Hamas war. We get into that. And we prepare for a cage match on Thursday night in Atlanta in CNN between President Joe Snooze Biden and Donald, I'm the best at everything. I'm the greatest Trump on Thursday. Now, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just picking at it. Anybody gets offended by making fun of both of them, might as well cry. But it's a serious thing going on Wednesday as well. What's up, Christopher? I can't read the entire line on each fact. All right, I'll tell you in just a few moments. Yeah, Shifty from Crazy Town, only 49. Shifty was 49 years old, Mr. Owen. He really was. The Crazy Town death was pretty unexpected. I know, Matthew. I know, man. Actually, I played in a band that he had did some shows with, he was still singing, and he had a backup band that was kind of called Crazy Town because not all the original guys were there. And we're playing with Green Jello, which I was a drummer for a little bit there in the past. They said he was a pretty good guy, but he didn't seem like he was all 100% happy. So we'll keep all that, keeping our thoughts and minds shifty. God bless him this morning. Addiction sucks, brother. You're right, Matthew. Addiction sucks. And all we can do is, whether you pray or not, I will pray over the families, because that's what I do. I will pray over the family and friends and the fans, because that's what I do. And, and my people out there that I was in bands with, that were all different backgrounds, they didn't mind me doing that for them. They were like, I appreciate it. So we're going to pray for him. Christopher, you took yours off. I wanted to see what that was. Lily is in the house. Lily, what's up? ABC, what's up? How you doing this morning? And we got a whole bunch of things to talk about on this weird Wednesday heading into True Crime Thursday. So, and Brenda Ganske will join us in the final period. Which of these facts seems the weirdest? Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of bunny rabbits. About 3,000 rabbits gathered and attacked him. Egyptian men and women used to wear makeup. Now, 18% say Napoleon, 33% say Egyptian men and women wearing makeup. King Henry IV was a doctor. You didn't know that? I mean, not fourth. King Henry VIII, not fourth. King Henry VIII, I am. Let me make sure that's, it's supposed to be King Henry VIII, not seventh. King Henry VIII, that's what it is right here, was a doctor, 15%. And Alexander the Great was once buried alive, accidentally buried alive, 31%. So there you go. And there's a lot of weird facts right here. I was wondering if you could name a car and a color. A black Camaro. Now, can you give me all the money I need there? Send it to my Cash App, $RyanShelander, RyanShelander. That's SHELANDERRYAN. There you go. I think both presidential candidates should be take drug and alcohol tests before they debate on Thursday. They're gonna sit there and go, "Hey man, you want one of these, man? This is good, man. This is good, man. I put that pill in my ice cream. Now it's the greatest pill ever, the greatest ever. Now pass that over here, Sleepy Joe." Okay, man. You know what I'm saying, man. Yeah, man. I just made majority of my audience laugh at both sides. There's people going to be hardcore. You're making fun of them. Or you make fun of Roman Reigns, who's my tribal chief. Come on. Oh, Lord. You're very welcome, Lily. We appreciate it. Now, what are you going to send me for that? The first fact cuts off reads like Napoleon was attacked by a rabbit. Or like Rabbi. I know, right? It's supposed to be rabbit. Sorry about that, guys. It's the way they cut it off. CDP, you got that right. Anyway, that's it. He was attacked by a rabbi. He shouldn't have been attacked by a rabbi. Just kidding. He was a short guy. Now, Napoleon, the great French leader, organized a rabbit hunt once. Around 3,000 rabbits were gathered together and released, but instead of trying to escape, they charged towards Napoleon and his men. Bugs Bunny's like, "What's up, Doc? Let's attack Napoleon." King Henry VIII, I am, lived his life in fear of getting ill. So guess what? He self-prescribed his own medicines and became a doctor. I'm a doc, man. Those are called, nowadays we call those people crackheads. They self-prescribed. I'm just kidding. The Australian image. There you go. Yes. Both Egyptian men and women wore makeup. While this might not be big news these days, when people discovered Egyptian men wore makeup, it caused a bit of a stir. It was usually worn during rituals, but also known to ward off those flies and protect skin from the sun back in the days. So there you go. And scientists also believe this about Alexander the Great. These are our 4. Now I'm going to go through some of the other ones in just a few, but this one's pretty cool. I want to make sure you understood the poll question this morning, since it cut off a lot of what I couldn't do there. The great ruler Alexander the Great was accidentally buried alive one time. Yeah. So while Alexander was ill, it was believed he may have been still alive when he was buried, which was why it took 6 days before his body began to show signs of being, falling apart. So there you go. And ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Daniel. How you doing this morning? That is what the poll question is. So, which is the weirdest things of all. Oh, I got to keep this up. Also, some other weird facts this morning that you guys might want to hear. Pope Gregory declared war on cats back during the 13th century. He called black cats an instrument of the devil and it's Satan. So he declared a war on them. The Olympics used to award medals for art, sculpture, literature, paintings from 1912 to 1948. So that's why that one's not in there. That seems kind of pretty cool. Get a little history this morning, right, guys? Despite not being recognized as citizens, almost 13,000 Native Americans fought during World War I, and over 200,000 African Americans were recruited, although most were used for labor and didn't see combat. Oh, man. Oh, did you know that the Avengers were also a team of Nazi hunters? Hey, listen to this, guys. Listen to this. This is weird facts. The Avengers were also a team of Nazi hunters. The real life superheroes were a group of Jewish assassins who hunted down Nazis after World War II. They killed about 2,283 Germans associated with the Third Reich. Huh. And those Avengers are back out there. They're going to come for you. They're going to come for you, Nick Flores. Nick Flores. Better all the Nazis out there going, sorry, we got rights to be racist. Better watch out. The Avengers are going to come get your asses. Did you know that the American flag was created by a 17-year-old? Yeah. It was designed in 1958 as part of a school project. And you know what? He only got a B for his flag. Oh, by the way, Captain Morgan was a real guy. These are weird facts, guys. Weird facts. I figured you'd like that on this Weird Wednesday. Captain Morgan's rum is named after an actual human being. The real life Morgan was a man who joined forces with the English to battle the Spanish in the Caribbean from the 1660s to 1670s. He was also said to have died a very, very rich man. Of course, he had Captain Morgan rum. What do you think about it? So there you go, guys. There you go. All is well here. Raining this morning there in Missouri, but it's all well so far, says Daniel. You sound kind of drunk right now. I don't drink, man. I was making fun of that. I don't drink, man. This is the way excited radio people act. I know you get guys go and turn on the boring people on the internet going, the world's coming to an end. They're going to get me. They're taking away my freedoms because I can't be a Nazi. Watch out for the Avengers. They're going to come get you. The real Avengers are going to come get you. Yeah, we made a movie about the real Avengers back in the USSR. Really? I'd like to see that. What is this called, ABC? The Real Avengers? You are a wealth of information today. Well, I decided that since I asked this poll question, I needed to give a little background on all of it so you guys will understand it. Be like, what? Why are we doing a poll? Because you got, this is the pre-test, because coming up is the actual test this morning as we head into Horrifying History 101 with Brenda Ganske. 29 minutes past the hour. It is currently 67 degrees right now. Going to get warmer in the metro Atlanta area. The time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those runners, critters, or gooey things at all. Mike and the crew can exterminate and lay the smack down for you. All right, let's see. Let's do this one. Day 264. Ladies and gentlemen, of the Israel-Hamas war. Couple things going on. Florida rapper Julio Fulio was shot and killed over the weekend in Tampa, Florida at a hotel. Authorities are still searching for those responsible for the shooting. A Texas woman is charged after allegedly trying to drown a Muslim child. Her name was Elizabeth Wolf, charged with attempted capital murder and injury to a child. She allegedly tried to drown a Muslim child back in May. It was May 19th. The 42-year-old is charged with attempted capital murder, public intoxication, and hate crimes. A South Texas detention center is going to be closed as part of the U.S. facilities where the U.S. Immigration and Customs authorities have closed this facility because of the cost of it. So there will be no one sitting there to put people away. I guess put people away. I don't know what it really is for. They never do it. I will check that movie out. Thank you for putting it in there. I definitely want to check that out. Hopefully it's got subtitles, but I'm going to check it out. The Real Avengers. ABC knew about the Real Avengers. Wow. We never even did that in America. Can't be doing that, boy. We might offend some of them Klansmen if we do that. Don't be offending them Klansmen now. WWE, ladies and gentlemen, have announced the host cities for Royal Rumble 2025 as WrestleMania 41 and SummerSlam will be in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2025. Indianapolis, Indiana will have this year's Royal Rumble and then SummerSlam as well as next year's WrestleMania in 2025. Wow. And some other news, former WWE, ECW, WCW star, Too Cold Scorpio. His name is Charles Scroggs. Is facing charge for stabbing a man. He's been arrested on June 15th, 2024. The incident happened at a Love's Travel gas station in Kansas City, Missouri, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. All right, our poll question this morning as we head into the break. You guys, we're putting you in lockdown for safe keeping. Don't you dare move away from that radio dial. Which of these facts seems the weirdest? I'm going to keep dropping weird facts throughout the morning because it is a weird Wednesday. Napoleon was once attacked by a whole herd of rabbits. 28% of you. Egyptian men and women wore makeup, basically to protect them from the sun. 28% of you. King Henry VIII, not the 7th, but the 8th, was a doctor. 17% of you. And Alexander the Great was once buried alive for about 6 days. 28% of those votes. Back here in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us. You're in lockdown. On RyanORadio, Penitentiary. Sweet Leaf says, I vote for King Henry. Alexander the Great says Sue. Bob says Napoleon attacked by rabbits. Get them, rabbits. Back in a moment. There's a version with subtitles, I think, but they usually show it without the subs and you rush it. All right, I'll check it out for sure.
Time for your active weather forecast in the Atlanta metro Atlanta area, brought to you by Active Pest Control. 34 Jefferson Street in Newton. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those runners, quitters, or goofy things at all. Mike and the crew can exterminate and lay that smack down for you. Sunny skies today, hot again, high near 98, light and variable winds. Partly cloudy skies for tonight. A straight shower, thunder shower is possible, low near 72, light and variable winds. A mix of sun and clouds for your Thursday. A straight shower is possible, thunder showers by the afternoon, high near 92, light and variable winds. Some clouds early on Thursday night. Giving away the clear skies overnight, low near 71, light and variable winds. It's going to be hot again on Friday, high near 93. A few afternoon clouds, but mostly sunny, high near 93. And a low near 74 with clouds from time to time on Friday night. And by Saturday, isolated thunder showers, partly to mostly cloudy, high near 92 and a low near 74. That's your active weather forecast brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Newton. Summer, winter, spring, fall, we don't care for those.
Premier Improvements. What's up, brother?
Right bank to be your partner. Experience the difference at Southern States Bank. At Southern States Bank, we're not just your bankers, we're your partners. Our team is deeply rooted in the community. We take pride in providing personalized service.
From the UK.
Great service comes naturally. Visit us today or check us out.
Listen to that professional weather forecast. Thank you. I appreciate it. I try to make it sound professional. I appreciate that, Daniel. You and 5 other people say that about me. Parts of the United States be like, they don't want no voiceover guys. We don't want people sounding like this. Want them to sound like, my neighbor, Leroy. I hope they ain't no Leroy. I hope when I pick on the name Leroy that nobody named Leroy out there gets offended. Actually, that's why I use that name, because most people named Leroy don't care. I'm good, brother. Nice to see you. Nice to see you too. Thank you, Christopher, the weatherman. I got to be like Jim Cantori and go to like the town, go to a town that's like 3,000 miles away from where the hurricane is. There's going to be a hurricane 3,000 miles that way, but I'm going to stay right here in the safety of just a little bit of rain. Oh, Jim Cantori will get me now. You know, you're getting old when the Weather Channel's entertainment. Boy, I got that Weather Channel on. Boy, look at Jim Cantori. His head is shining. Roy Jenkins. Yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. We're coming back. Do it. to RyanORadio Penitentiary. Are you awake yet? If you're not awake, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm over here on the radio getting wild in the mornings, getting wild in the evenings, getting wild in the afternoon. Whatever time it is for you, we're just getting wild. Talking to my listeners on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? You know, they were commenting on my professional weather forecaster. I was thanking them and everything. And you know what's funny? As you get older, you turn the Weather Channel on for entertainment now. You know, man, look at Jim Cantor. Boy, I like that top, but he's got that shiny head. And anybody knows who Jim Cantor is, and that means you, just like me, have watched too much Weather Channel. Oh, Lord. That's funny. A guy I worked with changed his name to Leroy because he was such a, POS. Nobody would hire him because they knew Wesley was as terrible a human being. Wesley was a terrible human being. Oh, good Lord, he changed his name to Leroy. Yeah, most Leroys don't care. So Wesley now is known as Leroy. Yeah. And the reason that was brought up in the feed by Daniel is every time I make jokes, I always go, oh, look at Leroy did this and Leroy. Every time I make fun of someone that's not too out there. And I was like, I started thinking, am I offending Leroy? People named Leroy? And I'm like, nah, most people named Leroy don't care. All right, it is a weird Wednesday. At about 38 minutes past the hour, you and I are tuned in here. We've got Brenda Ganske joining us, Horrifying History's host. She is going to bring you today's lesson about bodies, brokerage, and everything in the United States. We'll talk about, she was like, this is why let me know, she wants to be cremated. We'll talk more about that coming up in the final period. It's going to be some horrifying history. Get your pens and papers ready. But the pre-crime news this morning, you got to take those notes there. We got other things we're going to talk about. Got a little sports news for you this morning. And AEW's back in action 8 p.m. tonight on TBS. World champion Swerve Strickland's going to be there. They're setting up for their next big event. Who's his next competition? Well, he's got this back and forth going, somebody. Oh, Will Ospreay, that's right. They're going to be challenging at the next pay-per-view, which is in a couple of weeks or something. So you'll have them tonight. You'll have tag team titles on the line. You'll have different things going on. This coming up weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend will be Money in the Bank. We'll talk about that, preview that next week. AEW Dynamite, 8 p.m. TBS tonight for you. Want to watch that. And I'm going to talk about who killed WCW on the True Crime Thursday tomorrow, who put the final stab, who put the final knife in the back of World Championship Wrestling. That's tomorrow morning. I'll give you my thoughts on it. All right, a few other weird notes that we're going to get into. But first, which of these facts seem the weirdest? Napoleon was once attacked by a horde of rabbits. Him and his men were 32% of the votes there. Egyptian men and women both wore makeup. 23% of the votes, kind of like today, kind of like the 80s. King Henry VIII was a doctor, so he can prescribe himself pills because he liked to pop them pills or whatever. Take that cocaine, 18% of the votes. And Alexander the Great, I think for about 6 days, spent underground, buried alive. There's 27% of the votes there. All right, here's a couple other little newsworthy notes for you that make you go, what? This is weird. I'm not going to give you every one of these, but there's 70 weird history facts that I'm going to drop out this morning because of this. Abraham Lincoln was a wrestling champion. What you going to do, brother, when Abraham Lincoln runs wild on you? 7 years ago. If you smell what the Lincoln is cooking. That's right. Abraham Lincoln was an amateur wrestler. He once lost in 300 odd fights during his wrestling career. So he was the opposite of Goldberg. Instead of having an undefeated streak, he had a defeated streak. Instead of having an undefeated streak at WrestleMania like Undertaker, he was defeated. Oh, Lord. Premier improvements in England. Good morning to you. There you go. We appreciate you as well. let's get right back to this here as we get everything ready in the feed. Like, subscribe, and share to the page, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe, and share to the page on YouTube. Yeah. What you gonna do, brother, when the Abe runs wild on you? Dun, 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 dun. He's a real American. Dun, dun, dun. Coming up on Thursday night, it's the presidential debate on CNN. It is the current president of the United States, Sleepy Joe Biden, will defend his championship against the former president, Donald. And I'm the greatest, and everything's great, and everything I do is great. Napoleon ice cream's great. Trump in a match, but the run-in from the great Abraham Lincoln runs in and lays the smackdown on him. Yeah, guys, Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler, so you know I had to go deeply into that. All right. Let's see. The Bloody Mary story was originally called the Red Snapper, ladies and gentlemen. The much-loved cocktail that some of you will enjoy was first created by a guy named Pete. Not our Pete. Good morning, Pete. Says good morning to Ryan and the Navajo Nations and everybody else. Not our Pete, but a different Pete created it at the King Cole Bar in the in a hotel in Manhattan. It was originally called the Red Snapper, but eventually changed its name to Bloody Mary in the name of Queen Mary Tudor. There's a new show out about that as well. She had her King Henry VIII chopped her head off. Brother Abraham Lincoln welcomes you in here. He was a wrestler. You didn't know that. Now you know that. Former President Richard Nixon, who got in trouble back in the day, did you know he was a musician? That's right. Richard Nixon may have had a successful career as a musician if he decided not to, run for president. He played 5 instruments: piano, saxophone, clarinet, accordion, and violin. And he even wrote a song called My Wild Irish Rose that was for his wife at the famous Grand Ole Opry. He serenaded his wife there at the Grand Ole Opry. Richard Nixon was a musician. No wonder the man ended up being successful. I know he did some wrong things, but hey, yeah, there you go. He was a vampire hunter. No, he was a wrestler. I know you saw that documentary about him being a vampire hunter, Pete, but, he was a wrestler. He was a champion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, all you tall boys and Klansmen and percenters out there, listen to this. What's up? Hey, as we say to our new listener. Do you know that U.S. Grant helped take down the Ku Klux Klan? While they are still a force today to be reckoned in small towns where they go, I'll tell you what, my education level only up to the 6th grade, man, and I got every right to be racist. You take my freedom of speech away, even though their stupidity is still moving on in 2024. During 1870, U.S. Grant brought thousands of indictments against the Klan, and he almost ended them for good. First, he almost ended them. Then the mob ran them back in the 40s, ran them into the woods. I wonder who's going to do it today. They're still in the woods. So that is what's going on. I saw him play the saxophone in the animation theme song, Richard Nixon. You did? Wow. Which of these facts seem the weirdest, guys? This is our facts. This is weird facts. I'm dropping all this stuff in, having a little fun today. I mean, Abraham Lincoln was the opposite of Goldberg. He lost 300 fights instead of winning every fight. He'd never been WCW champion, sucker. Anyway, which of these facts seem the weirdest? 25% of you say Napoleon being attacked by rabbits. which I just told you that earlier in this segment. Egyptian men and women, 21% of you say wearing makeup seems the weirdest. King Henry VIII, I am King Henry VIII, was a doctor. He got a doctorate, or at least he said he did, so he could prescribe his own medicine. And Alexander the Great once spent 6 days buried. 36% of the votes there, 18% for King Henry. So there you go. You vote Napoleon, says ABC. Thank you for telling us that. They didn't start being that way till the 1930s. The Klan were still terrible back in the 1800s. They were racist back then when they tried to, set African American people free. There was a lot of people like, I don't want to do that back in the 1800s. U.S. Grant was like, hold. What the hell? Abraham Lincoln just did this. What's wrong with you? Why did you can't give it up, man? It's an addiction. It's an addiction to stupidity. Good morning, Captain Hot Buns. Another Leroy, as they would say. Good morning, Captain Hot Buns. Thank you for joining us. We're doing Weird Wednesday, and I'm dropping in a lot of weird stuff. They do, ABC. They're still not that strong today. But the mob ran them in the 1940s into the woods. My hero, Al Capone. The real bad to the bone guy. Not the wannabe po' boys or the wannabe Klansmen with their little bitty guns. Anyway, there you go. U.S. Grant did that. And good morning, Andrew Polanis, my lovely bride. It's a Weird Wednesday, and our poll question is, I'm giving you all these weird facts throughout the day. Let's go ahead and do this as we get ready to take a break. A couple of other headline news for you. We got that. Authorities in Colorado announced Sunday night that a man accused of killing one person and wounding 2 others in an early morning shooting at a hotel was in police custody. Where the hotel was located was about 230 miles southwest of Denver, Colorado. And of course, his name was Henry Correll. He was arrested about 6:49 p.m. Mountain Time. Also, ladies and gentlemen, an active shooter incident in 2023. We'll tell you how those have rose. And Encino, California, where Encino man totally Pauly Shore. We'll talk about, it's not about Pauly Shore, but we'll talk about what an uneducated woman did there. Yeah. And who killed WCW once I get the final ones in there? We'll talk about that tomorrow on True Crime Thursday. We got Pre-Crime Wednesday today, and we're going to have Weird Wednesday as we talk about bodies, brokerage, and more in the United States inside your Horrifying History Class 101 in the final period of play. Let's go ahead and take a break. Come back. We'll still have some more stuff in store for you, more headline news, a little bit of sports, and we're going to talk more of these 70. I got 70. I'm not going to get through all of them. 70 weirdest facts, and 4 of them are up for you to choose from on our poll question this morning. All I got to say is that's my time, and your time is up. You can't see me because I'm on the radio unless you're watching YouTube. Oh, I am the franchise. Back here in a moment. You guys stay right there. More RyanORadio Penitentiary on the way. Clicking with our listeners.
The Wall Street Business Report. I'm Bill Alexander. The Dolly container ship left Baltimore for the first time Monday since it crashed into the iconic Francis Scott Key Bridge in March. With the help of 4 tugboats along with its own power, the Dolly left the port's Secret Marine Terminal before 8:30 in the morning. The ship is headed to Norfolk, Virginia, where it will unload its remaining cargo and undergo extensive repairs. U.S. prosecutors are recommending to senior Justice Department officials that criminal charges be brought against Boeing after finding the plane maker violated a settlement related to 2 fatal crashes. 2 people familiar with the matter reported.
Oh, people coming off now.
Started last week with cyber attacks on a software company used widely in the auto retail sales sector. Women in the United States have saved just 1/3 of the amount that men have set aside for retirement. That's according to a
$70. That's at least 3 more shows worth of facts. I know. Might add some to next Wednesday, but I figured since I had that poll question up, you guys would probably would have been like, why is that poll question up? So I decided to give the facts out to show what it went together. Seemed more relevant to do that. Instead of just throwing it out there going, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Hello. Love from the USSR. We've got another person from the USSR on here. Good morning to you. ABC, a fellow countryman there, or country lady. Says, is there an effective way to strengthen your tank without working glutes? Oh, we're gonna have to ask Poopy Pie that. That's a professional, exercise guru. She's not on yet. Hey KP, I don't know how to spell your first name. KP in the house. KP in the house from Russia. KP in the house. We always give people nicknames, so it don't really matter. As long as we never call you Legion KP. Okay, Legion KP. What's up, Legion? As long as we don't call you Leroy, you'll be all right. I tried to find a Planet Fitness, which they're all over, right? I tried to find a Planet Fitness, and they invited me never to return. I tried to find out at Planet Fitness, and they invited me never to return. Oh, okay. Anna Marie. Anna Marie, the Noonan dance. The Noonan dance. Pete said, once I got to my station at work this morning, it was 81.1 degrees. Now it's 78.2 after I opened the door to turn on the fan. Just think, you got 3 more days and you got a week off, Pete. What's up, John? He says, hello, Ryan and inmates. John, one of our major inmates here. Let's don't go with Leroy. He did Leroy stuff yet, Daniel. But if he does, then we'll call him Leroy. All right, and I got to redo all this once I go back on the air again, because new people came on. Thank you for letting us know, Legion KP. Welcome back in. What's up, everybody? We're about 5 minutes away from the top of the hour. Anna Marie joins us this morning, doing the Noonan dance on the YouTube page for her from Noonan. Also, we got Legion KP. Whoa, what's up there? And we're welcoming everybody. And Pete says, it was hot as you know what, as a well digger. No, he didn't say that. I'm saying that. He says 81.1 degrees and now 78.3 degrees there in his, his, job. Told him he's got today and 2 more days and he's good. He's going to be on vacation next week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a look at your top. What's going on? We're going to see what's going on in his neck of the woods. There you go. That's right. And in his neck of the woods, I like that. It's Noonan, so it's 80 on the inside and 78 now. It's probably a little bit lower than that for outside, but it's going to be a hot one today. It's going to be one heck of a hot one today in the Atlanta metro Atlanta area, boys. Ladies and boys and girls and everything. Boxing fan, AZMOB. You think that's supposed to offend everybody here? We probably say good morning to you. If that's your choice, all right. Do what you want to do. We don't care. Look, you're welcome. Show must go on. That's right. Which of these facts seem the weirdest? Of course, we keep giving you weird facts throughout the morning, and that's what I'm going to do because you guys were kind of trying to figure out what the poll question was about this morning. Napoleon was attacked once by him and his men were attacked by 3,000 plus rabbits. 33% if you say that. Egyptian men and women wore makeup, and they started the glam rock movement. 17% of you. Also, King Henry VIII, I am, was a doctor, so he could prescribe his own pills. 17%, 14% say that. And Alexander the Great once spent 6 days buried alive. 36% of the votes. Some weird stuff. After lunch yesterday, it was 102 degrees. With you, it was inside there. Name a car for an edit. Are you okay? Camaro. There you go. Speaking of boxing, I'm mad Tyson got sick and the fight got pushed back another month. I know, right? Well, John, he's going to take him out. Arizona is hotter. Boxing fan AZMOB. We got Captain Hot Buns from there, and he's spending a lot of time in the heat. Hot out there in Arizona. It's hot in Arizona. They need to do. Nelly needs to do a song called "It's Hot in Arizona." Back in a moment, guys. Stay with us. Good morning, Zach. Be right back, says Anna Marie. Don't leave Anna Marie. Got to get that chili for your husband. All right, let's see here. Randy's not on today, so I got to add this in here myself. Randy, come on. Where are you at, Randy? We'll come back to that. I just got to get this. Hey, Zach, he's back. Back again. All right. 73. It's 73 right now. Jesus Christ, 73 degrees now. Not as hot as it is out there in Arizona, though. They probably got 109 right now. And the humidity makes it 130. Am I right, Captain Hot Buns? All right, there we go.
South Korea's military says that North apparently has tried another ballistic missile test. This is SRN News. Are you a domestic?
Just get on live, brothers, what I do. And then I got a bunch of live stream stuff that we do with the radio station, this radio. You know what I'm saying, brother? $20 minimum wage for fast food workers isn't working out as more layoffs and restaurant closures plague California. Yep, it's happening, John. I just wish the rich would go ahead and learn that they don't have to have 3. I mean, I guess I understand why most of the CEOs of these companies have to keep their money. I mean, they got 2 sets of families and a girlfriend and mistresses on the side. So, while the poor man out there can barely get that woman to look worse than throwing $20. I'm sorry. I had to make fun of all that, John. Oh, that's the only way to keep sane. It's the only way to keep sane. But at least they're closing down Hooters, so all the perverted old men can't go look at them 18-year-old girls go, don't look at my dollar, but I'm going to look at somebody else's. What's up, Matt? Good morning to you. But you're right about that. It's not working out too well for them. But they've been wanting to raise the price anyway so they can get rid of people because AI is taking over everywhere. But there you go. You know how that is, John. If I as a business could just sell hamburgers and all the money come to me and I don't have to have but 2 people in there and the robots are running everything and it automatically cooks all the food and stuff. Yeah, I don't have to pay nobody even minimum wage. Even if minimum wage was $7. But I understand where you're coming from, bro. No more excuses saying they are at Hooters for food, right? Exactly. I like the hot wings. Sure, you like the hot wings. I am a heavy metal man. Thank you. Mad man in my visions. Mad man in my visions. That sounds like an Ozzy song. If not, it should have been. Hooters customers base wasn't just perverts, it was also teens. Look, the teenagers are the 19-year-old guys are supposed to go there to look at the 19-year-old girls. That's normal, ABC. I don't have a problem with you going there and looking. You're 19. Those girls are your age. I'm talking about one of them old perverted men that look like the guy from the Trailer Park Boys. Now they have to go to the strip clubs like respectable degenerates. That's right. Now their wives will know why they're going there then. The reason they were going to Hooters was to get away with it. I just like these hot wings. Matt says they do have good food. Matt says they do have good food even though they're closing down. Doctor, who, what, where? All right, let's see. Oh, everybody's popping up too quick. Wanted to read this one out of respect for you. I knew my morning wasn't going right when I put my shirt, put on my shirt and the button fell off. When I picked up my briefcase, the handle fell off. I tell you, I'm afraid to go to the bathroom. Well, Doc, don't go to the bathroom. Mad says, I like Hooters, but I fear Hoovers from the narcissistic neighborhood cult that I escaped from. What? Daniel says, I'm not going to miss Hooters, but it's a sad day when a large chain like that goes down. Bidenomics hard at work. I think, if we start, here's what I tell everybody. If local businesses and local people start supporting one another, we can put our country back and get rid of the corporate chains. Corporate chains don't care about local anyway. They don't spend money locally where the local restaurant owner does, the local jewelry shop guy does or gal does. So I'm kind of I know this seems a bit mean, but I'm kind of all right with that. And fast food's not good for us anyway. So I'm kind of all right with it being expensive and not having to buy it. I'm kind of all right with us kind of just supporting our local people. But that's just me. But I agree with you on that one. Not John, but who said that? Was it John or Daniel? Daniel said that. Yeah, Daniel. I agree with you on that, Daniel. I mean, it only that Bidenomics only works when you're asleep. I did that for my Trump supporters. Now the other people are like, why? I got all kind of listeners. You got to do things for everybody. Come on. I want everybody to feel welcome. Come on. Support local businesses. We do. That's for sure. Matt, I can't be here long. I have traffic this morning, but I'm glad when I get time to spend it. Oh, I appreciate that. CDP says, hey, yeah, Doc Brown is a beautiful person. Hello, CDP. Hope everything is well with you. Doc Brown, that's what we'd like to call her. You know, Daniel, that only works when you're asleep by night. I did that for you, Daniel. And you, John. Ads are all over. I know that's right. Thank you, Doc Brown. I love this community too. We love having everybody in here. Nope, they're not made up, Fat Gremlin. They're real. They're not hairs. No, they're not. I know that they didn't teach anything in high school anymore, and people are afraid to go to college because they think they're going to be indoctored. These are actually real. Yes, awesome. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. Welcome back into RyanORadio Penitentiary. Yeah, 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast Shout It Out Loud across the RyanORadio media page. Earth, Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. 25 internet and real radio stations there. We're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada and Atlanta's very own 99.1 FM WQEE, the home of Southern sports, inspirational talk, and more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate all you wonderful folks being with us this morning. Thank you, Doc, about talking nice about my hair and everything. And yes, these facts are the weirdest facts in history, and they are true. But you got to go to school to learn them. See, I didn't quit school when I was 16. Most of the stuff I tell you guys, I went to college and learned a lot of extra stuff. Most stuff I learned from a high school football coach and basketball coach that was a history teacher and a government history teacher. Jack gum coaches teaching you back in the day, being an intelligent. As you can tell, Coach Tommy Lewis, who's with us on Mondays, he is. Them damn gum coaches. They know how to put a great football team together and teach you history and teach you how to drive. Loved it back in the day. All right, anyway. Daniel's like, good morning, Red. Ready in the house, Red Bricks. Hair today, gone tomorrow. Hopefully not. It's been a while. I turned another year older on 2 days from now on Friday. So it's the birthday bash. It's the birthday party, the RyanORadio birthday party on Friday. We're going to have a good time. But today is Weird Wednesday. And we'll get the weird facts in here for you in just a few moments as we continue to welcome everybody in. Why do coaches give you homework like they are your only class? Like that's their only class? Because they're like, hey, they told me I had to give this homework, even though I really want to just make plays for the football team or the basketball team or the baseball team, but I got to give you guys homework. See, they're made to do it. The other teachers are not. Well, you don't have anything extra to do. The coach was like, man, I got to stay here till 7 o'clock tonight. Been here since 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock this morning. That's why they gave it to us. They were there all day, man. They're like, if I'm going to get no sleep, all of you guys are going to stay up all night. That's why they did it, John. That's why they did it. Oh, wow. 11 minutes past the hour, 73 degrees in the metro Atlanta area. Time and temperature brought to you by, yeah, they cut it off. YouTube cuts it off. Only a certain amount of letters can be in there. Yeah, type of temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control, ladies and gentlemen. Active Pest Control, summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, or gooey things at all. I got a Group Exterminator latest smackdown for you in the Atlanta metro Atlanta area. All right, everybody's HQT. Yep, it's the way it is, the way they did. Now I'll give you a rundown of the complete facts because what happened is they cut you off, so that you can only put so many in there. Which of these facts seems the weirdest? 39% of you say Napoleon and his men who were attacked by 3,000 rabbits after they let him go is weird. Egyptian men and women both shared makeup, wore makeup, 17% of the votes. King Henry VIII, it's supposed to be the 8th, was a doctor so he can prescribe his own medicine. And Alexander the Great once spent 6 days buried alive. 30% of you say that's the weirdest. We got some more weird history facts for you this morning. The Wandering Hippies up in the house. What's up for you, brother? Hello, everyone. Still at work at 5. Having a 5-minute break, hoping to finish the next 2 hours. There you go. There you go. But, yep. We got some headline news for you. I want to drop in before we do any more of what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, in the world of weird history. Napoleon, in fact, calls him seem a little freaky low key. It is. He didn't want nobody to know he got beat. His army dominated everywhere, but he got beat by a bunch of rabbits. Bugs Bunny's like, what's up, Doc? All right, in the headline news this morning, authorities in the Bahamas are searching for a 41 American woman who went missing from Chicago while in the Caribbean nation last week. Her name is Taylor Casey of Chicago. She was last seen June 19th in the area of Paradise Island, which was located just off the shore of the capital of the Bahamas. According to the Royal Bahamas Police Force, a missing poster has been placed up. We hope that she is found very, very soon. At least 5 are killed, and Kenya's parliament on fire after a protest over a tax bill. Oklahoma Supreme Court says public funding for religious schools is unconstitutional. North Las Vegas shooting leaves 5 dead and 13-year-old injured in that one. Those are some headline news for you this morning. Active shooter incidents in 2023 have risen up 60% since 2019, according to the FBI. In 2023, there was 48 active shooters across 26 states. That's the data thus far. And shootings in the common places included education, schools, healthcare, stores, malls, and more. In total, 139 people were wounded and 115 people were killed. In 2024, it's not let up either. So there you go. Wow. Red Brick says in the feed this morning, he said, I was attacked on stream last night by a woman by the name of Melinda Moran. Every time I'm on, she makes up lies and tries to distract me from the chat and stream. Block her. That's what they do. They try to keep you. Just another Karen. That's right, CDP. Another Karen. ATF in the house. We did most of them to increase our budgets for 2024. ATF responded to the FBI's active shooting list and everything. Well, I think we got a lot of crazy people. I think we used to have all these shootings all the time. We just got a lot more. It's just we get it more reported because we got social media and stuff now. In Encino, California, where totally Pauly Shore's and the Encino Man movie was filmed. Well, not really filmed, but based in. A woman threw her 6-month-old child in a trash can during a fight at Walmart. Now, this is Walmart. This is typical. I mean, if this was in like Mississippi or North Carolina, it'd be like, yeah, man, you're going to get in a fight at Walmart because you're going to fight over that last bag of pork rinds. but I don't know what it was. Her and her niece got into it with somebody else there, and why they got into it, I guess to save her baby who was in her arms, she just threw it in a trash can so she could fight. The Arsenio Police EPD responded on June 22nd about 3:32 p.m. And of course, the fight was between 38-year-old Brenda Benjamin holding her child, allegedly tossed the infant into a trash can as she got into a fight with another person. She and her niece were escorted out of the Walmart. So what happens, man, when you walk in there and Walmart has no more pork rinds? Come on, man. No more ice cream? You're out of what? You're out of the Rocky Road? Oh, I'm gonna whoop somebody's butt up in here. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Root for Oscar. Oh, yeah, we will. Hair metal. Hair metal in the house. Woo. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have some more facts for you here in just a few moments. Weird facts. Oh, what a morning. TGIW Weird Wednesday. Wacky Weird Wednesday coming up. Our guest will be Brenda Ganske from Horrifying History. She's going to be your professor today as we talk about bodies, brokerage, everything to that sort. It's going to be the unknown. Yes, we're going to have that for you. Yeah, we're dedicating this morning to Shifty from Crazy Town, as well as Sulu, the father of Roman Reigns, who passed away as well. Former wild Samoan there. So, wow. Wow. Bummer about that. It definitely is. Let's do this one more newsworthy note from a North Las Vegas man allegedly killed 5 and critically injured a 13-year-old in a shooting in an apartment complex on Monday night. North Las Vegas Police Department responded to the shooting about 10 p.m. That was at 370 Casa North Drive in the Commerce Street in Craig Ranch Park. I know where that's at. Lived in Vegas for a while. While investigating the shooting, the police discovered 3 more bodies in the apartment below. One woman was in her late 40s, the other in her 50s. The girl was taken to the University Medical Hospital as well. Las Vegas police reported the involved shooting about 10:15 a.m. Tuesday in another residential neighborhood just south of Las Vegas. No additional details going on with this right now. Yep, he did. He's with the butterflies now. There you go. He definitely is. And a couple other newsworthy notes this morning. Who killed WCW? That's going to be our true crime. We got our pre-crime Wednesday news stories we just told you right here, heading into tomorrow. Also, Florida rapper Julio Fulio was shot and killed over the weekend in Tampa, Florida at a hotel. Authorities still investigating into that incident. A Texas woman is charged after she allegedly tried to drown a Muslim child. Elizabeth Wolf is her name. The 42-year-old is charged with attempted capital murder, public intoxication, because she tried to drown, and she's being charged with, hate crime because she tried to kill this child. What the heck is wrong with people? Oh, man. So there you go. A couple other newsworthy notes as we head into tomorrow. WCW Who Killed 4 episodes. It's a 4-part series produced by The Rock and his ex-wife, Dana Garcia's company, that shows the ups and downs of World Championship Wrestling. And it kicked off with Where the Big Boys Play. We'll talk about all this tomorrow, and I'll give you my thoughts on the 4-part episode that was on Vice every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. since I was like, asleep. At the time, I have to watch it the next day. Thank goodness for the internet. Sometimes. Thank goodness for the internet. All right, let's see here. Fire breaks out at a McCarty Center right as the Spanish Grand Prix almost ended the team's opportunities to finish the race. The Atlanta Hawks are stuck with a little bit more of a $40 million salary dump in the next 3 years if they do some trades. I hope they're not getting rid of Trae Young. I kind of like what he does there. Hopefully the young man doesn't get sent away from our Atlanta Hawks. And the Falcons are geared up for a 2024-25 NFL season, the campaign just a little later on. They are doing great under Arthur Smith. He said, hey, all the trolls out there have been trolling about Ritter, Heineke, Marietta, all these people that were with us. But now that for the next 3 seasons, we're going to have Kirk Cousins looking good. He's got a $180 million deal with the company. We know there's some ups and downs with talking to him before the NFL allowed all this to happen. There's payments. The Falcons are in trouble, all this, but the Falcons are ready for a season. I know I'm ready for Atlanta Falcons football this season. Captain Hot Buns, did Murray and Trae Young cannot get it done. It's been proven. Murray and Trae Young cannot get it done. It's been proven. It's true. It's true. Murray and Young together can't get it done. Young's been doing good, pretty good. He's kind of Atlanta's adopted son in a way. So we kind of like him and his family here. If he goes away, to be kind of sad. I mean, to bring in better players, yeah. We'll take guys from anywhere. I mean, it looks like the Lakers are going to re-sign LeBron James. You know, it looks like the Los Angeles LeBron James is going to re-sign LeBron James, I should say. The Los Angeles LeBron James is. After this season, the Los Angeles LeBron James might move to Las Vegas. What's up, Enzo? Yeah, the Panthers did good, didn't they? Did you see him jumping in the water? I was afraid a shark was going to attack him. You know, with all the sharks in Florida now going around, I was afraid they were going to get attacked. I was more worried about the Stanley Cup than I was the player. So they got a parade on Sunday. I agree with you on that, Captain Hot Buns. They do. You're right. But hey, guess what? We love him here. FYI, I got fired from the Tennessee State Prison for playing with the PA system. What? But people wanted to hear me. Kobe is turning in his grave. You got that right. LeBron has no respect. It's the LA LeBrons, Jameses. That's why they got a new coach that never coached before. Hey, fella, you want to come over here and be coach? Sure, I'll be coach. You got to listen to everything I say because this is the LeBron Jameses. Yeah, they did. They saved Trent to the good. Oh, yeah. It was good. Good morning, 12. I loved it, Enzo. Congratulations to the Panthers. Rob Peterson's supposed to be going back home from Canada this weekend to be part of that event, but I don't know if he wants to. Because his wife is an Oilers fan. So. F. LeBron says, Enzo, he just has friends and coach. He just has his friends coach him. That's right. John says LeBron NBA career is good as the new Space Jam, as good as the new Space Jam movie. I know, right? And that movie was a pretty. And never mind. That's why they suck. Yeah. Captain Outbun says, Matt, what were you saying on the prison PA? I think he was playing this show on the prison PA is the problem. I caused Matt to lose his job. Man. 25 minutes past the hour, 73 degrees in the metro Atlanta area. New time and temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control. Summer, winter, spring, fall. We don't care for those rodents, critters, and gooey things at all. Michael the Gru can exterminate and lay the smackdown for you. Pre-crime Wednesday was headed to Wednesday's WCW. Who killed WCW? I'm going to have my thoughts on that tomorrow. We got true crime news. We'll have the daily doubles today and much more. I guess I do. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, we're going to move on. That Space Jam comment's wrong, but it's so true, saying so. Yeah, you guys are never wrong. When the trolls come in, they need to start reading what you guys are saying before they step in here. You're in with inmates, guys. You're in with the most dangerous people on the internet. The RyanORadio Penitentiary inmates, and I'm your warden. What's up, CC Dillon? Hello. Matt says, wasn't your fault. It was mine. It was mine. Well, I mean, they needed to hear a professional radio show there. Why would they get rid of you because you just played my show? Your bosses told you could do it that one day. What's the problem? Matt broadcasted my show and got him fired. You see, guys, now you know that they're out to get me, and not the Democrats and not the Republicans, but to get me. Because I'm sitting here trying to bring everybody together and give you guys a voice to let you guys have your opinions, whether who you like or whatever you like, and all the stuff that you guys are saying in the feed and all the stuff that we talk about. They fired Matt for putting me out there in the Texas State Prison to help people out. Well, he's got other jobs. He's a security guard everywhere else. He's also been a security guard for Kenny Chesney and everything. So I have this show on stream always. Thank you, CDP. I appreciate that. It's your long hairs again. Yeah, them hippies. They don't like them hippies. Everything CZ Dillon. We do sports. We do weird. Today's Weird Wednesday. We have True Crime Thursday. We have Major News Monday. We do sports. We do movie reviews. You name it, we do it all. So, wrestling, soap operas, whatever. We do it all. Anything that everybody's into, we do it all. Now, we report on the political news. I don't talk about it because everybody has different opinions in here, CC, and all these people's opinions are important to me. Maybe not important to, people in Congress, but it's important to me. See why? So they got rid of me. They got fired, Matt, for putting my show out there, trying to bring people together, bring the real inmates that are having problems in and let them hear a Christian value. Oh, they didn't want to hear me. They probably took it up because I read a devotion. Uh-oh. He read a devotion. There's some of the non-believers are all right with it. Like the Navajo Nation say they think it's cool. Oh, my goodness. We can't have that. Get rid of them. Oh, man. It's cool to have opposing opinions. It's cool to discuss them. Thank you, CDP. I appreciate that. Well, it's always been my thought process. But also, I always tell everybody who comes in, I'm always right anyways. No matter what, I'm always right. I'm just kidding. All right, let's do this daily devotion brought to you by Noonan City Church before we head into the break. Noonan City Church, 17 First Avenue here in the metro Atlanta area, Noonan. After the break, we got more weird and unusual history facts for you. Brought to you by Noonan City Church from Jesus Listens, Sarah Young. Noonan City Church, 17 First Avenue. Bring in transforming lives for Jesus' sake. Inside services, 8 a.m. on Sunday. Outside 9 and 10:30. And also going to be inside at 10:30 service. And Hip Cool Kids, 6:30 p.m. Yeah, Pastor Jimmy Ellis and his staff invite you out. 17 First Avenue in Newton, my church of choice. From 1 Thessalonians 5:16 and Isaiah 54:10. This is for my believers out there and my Navajo Nation who ask for this every morning. Sweet Lisa says, thank you. I appreciate it. Lord Jesus, you've been teaching me to rejoice always, connecting my joy to you first and foremost. It comforts me to remember that you love me at all times and in all circumstances. As the world assures me, though the mountains may be shaken and the hills be removed, yet your unfailing love for me will never be shaken. I found that giving thanks in all circumstances includes my joy all the time. Please help me view my life through the grind of gratitude more and more. That's right. I need to think about exciting, praiseworthy things, trust, nobility, right, pure, loving, and everything else. In Jesus' name, amen. And amen. Thank you very much. Matt says, I'm driving. Thanks for the devotion. Thank you very much. Drive safe. You're very welcome. I'm driving. Thanks for the devotion. You're welcome, brother. I was listening to the radio station in Montana, Ohio, old Trading Post that was here. Out there, they called it Trading Post. Well, shouldn't be listening to another radio station, Pete. Inmates get him. I'm just kidding. Wait till Gail and who's from Tennessee, and Cher from Iowa get on. They're going to be like, what? There's no other radio station. I'm picking with you, Pete. Thank you for all the amens, brothers and sisters, and for those 12 Red Bricks, ABC, all those people there that did that. We appreciate you. And thank you, CDP. And for your non-believers, we appreciate you allowing me to do that. Thank you very much for allowing me to have that on my show. And for like the Navajo Nation asking for it every morning. Thank you very much. I think Charles Darwin was cooler. But few study, I'm sorry. If you like the other person. Thank you guys for everything. That shows you how people can get along in this world. When the media tells you the people don't like people saying this, and non-believers don't like believers, and believers don't like non-believers, and that's just a bunch of made up stuff. That's why the show that's why Matt got in trouble for playing this show over the Tennessee State Prison because we're together. Where is the Navajo Nation located? Sweetleaf, tell us. Sweetleaf says in an undisclosed location, but parts of it is in Arizona and New Mexico and parts like that in Oklahoma stuff. But some of these people tell me they're in New Mexico. Some say Sue says she's in the bottom part of Arizona. She travels off she works off the reservation part that she lives in. But Sweetleaf has never told me what part he was on. So only talk shows I ever listen to is you and Red. Well, Red and I are the only ones that know what we're doing. Isn't that right, Red? CDP, woohoo! But yeah, there's different ones in different areas there, Matt. Thanks for asking. All right. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, you and I are going to do some more history facts that are weird. Weird. That way it fits in with today's poll question, which is, which of these facts seem the weirdest? 35% of you say Napoleon and his men being attacked by 3,000 rabbits. 17% say Egyptian men and women wearing makeup. 15% say King Henry IV being a doctor because he, wanted to give himself his own drugs. And Alexander the Great being buried for 6 days, 33% of the votes. Back in a moment with more weird history. Let's go into the break with a little shifty. I never play music. I can't hold still. The only thing I really know is she got sex appeal. I can feel too much is never enough. You always there to lift me up. Every time get rough. I was lost, now I'm found. Ever since you been around, you the woman that I want, so you're putting it down. Come my lady, come my lady. You're my butterfly. I remember when this song came out. Dare. The other singer had on. Pretty baby, I'll make your legs shake, make me go crazy. I don't deserve you, and that's it. So got to hit an essence to show me like it's precious, and this is true. But to tell the truth, I really never knew till I met you. See, I was lost and confused, twisted and used. I knew a better life existed, but thought that I missed my lifestyle. Wow, I was living like a wild child, trapped on a short leash, parole to police vibes. So yo, what's happening now? I see the sun breaking down into dark clouds and a vision of you. I'm playing this song because the singer passed away. What's up, BK on the air? I never play music, guy, but whenever somebody passes away, I do. With me. Did what?
but because you're fancy. Girls me and you like Sid and Nancy. So sexy, almost evil. Talk about butterflies in my head. I used to think that at the ending, 20 in the books I read. But you made me feel alive when I was almost dead. You filled that empty space with the love.
They'll probably block my show today.
So butterfly, it was a song and it's filled with a kiss. And a thank you, miss. Come and dance. Come and dance. Come and dance. Come and dance. Come my lady, come my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby. Come my lady, you're my pretty baby. I'll make you that.
They'll probably block this show today since I played that.
Forecast in the Atlanta metro area brought to you by Active Pest Control. 34 Street in
I had to dedicate it to Shifty, who passed away. He was the singer in there.
Mike and the crew can exterminate and let that
There was two guys, a rapper and a singer, when the song come out called Butterfly, Crazy Town. Had to play it for him. That's a fun fact right there. Fun fact for Julius Caesar. Oh, kind of like being in the Klan, slept their way to the top. Oh, that's me. True but me. They'll say something, I'm certain. Yeah, when the show is over.
That's your active weather forecast brought to you by Active Pest Control. 34 10th Street in Newton. Summer, winter.
But I didn't take a chance with me. What is the name of this?
Services plus specific services like bed bug, German roach, and flea control. Even if you can't see them, insects are all around you 24/7. Active Pest Control wants to be the first line of defense.
No, I don't really play music, but if somebody does pass away, I know it seems kind of, but I like to show respect to them. I mean, them songs are always on radio somewhere. We're a talk station, so we usually don't play much music.
We take pride in providing personalized service. Come to Southern States Bank. Great service comes naturally.
But yeah.
Check us out at SouthernStatesBank.net. Southern States Bank, your community, your bank.
Yep, he's here for a reason.
For the top expert in Medicare, health insurance, and life insurance, look no further than CP Financial.
Ryan, I'm going to produce an opening rap song for your channel. Going to start today after the show. Okay. All right, sounds good. Fun fact, says John, men's mental health care month was replaced with Pride Month, but 80,000 self-delinquents are less important than who, what you choose to sleep with. Yeah, we are less important, John. Because men are just supposed to go out and work 24/7. We're not supposed to have feelings. Poor men are supposed to be mad at rich men. Rich men are supposed to think they're better than poor men, which is not really, none of that's true. How many, tell me the truth, how many men can sit around and watch a football game, argue, a wrestling match and argue, and one guy's paying for everything and he doesn't care, he's paying for everything. All of a sudden somebody in the family comes in going, did you pay all this? Guys, I need some money. We should have, you're right, John. Our mental health is important, brother. Because we get along better than people try to pretend like men don't. Any input would be appreciated from you and the inmates. Oh, it's the RyanORadio Penitentiary. You ain't locked down. I'm the man around here. I like to use that one. The game. I am the game. You can add that into there. I know you're going to be able to write something good. Guys, help him out. He's writing me a theme song for my show.
listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, Noonan, Georgia.
Hey guys, Simmy, this is Wrestling Unlimited. As unfortunately today we did
Ryan's dumb man.
Of Wild Samoan Sika, the father of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has publicly spoken for the first time since we've learned of his
Sika
passing, as Roman did take to Twitter today to state the following. My family and I thank everyone for the outpouring of support in the name of my father, Alahovio Leti Sika Anoa'i, who will forever be remembered as one half of the Wild Samoans tag team. My father had a profound impact on my entire family, and we are forever grateful for the foundation he built for us. There's no way to fill the void left by his passing,
Howdy.
but my sisters and I will do our best to represent him and his legacy. Rest in power, Dad. We love you. But with that, Roman Reigns has spoken for the first time since we have learned of the passing of his father. We here at Wrestling Unlimited do want to send our deepest condolences to the entire Anoa'i family, as well as all the friends and fans.
Same way from us here at RyanORadio Penitentiary to Roman Reigns and family. What's up, Poopy Pie? How you doing this morning? And we got weird facts. That's what it's about. Coming up in the final period, we're about 15 minutes away from the top of the hour. We're currently holding at 73 degrees. Top of temperature brought to you by Active Pest Control, 34 Jefferson Street in Noonan. We're going to have Brenda Ganske join us in the final period. She and I are going to talk about, yes, some weird facts. So get your pens and papers ready. We've had our pre-crime news for you this morning to get ready for your True Crime Thursday. We're going to talk about who killed WCW tomorrow. And the Friday show is going to be the birthday show, the birthday party. That's going to be on Friday. It's my birthday. So we're going to be celebrating it. And I will whine if I want to. That's right. All right, let's go ahead. Weird facts back. Thank you, Boxing Fan AZ. MOB in the house, another Arizonan. We appreciate you guys being with us. And John, I agree with you on that. And I think that it's what divides men in the nation, not being able to be, like what we said. Like what you said, not having a mental health month being replaced. All right. We'll talk about the life and crimes of Vincent Kennedy McMahon tomorrow. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. We're going to drop that in, and that's going to be tomorrow's show along with some other stuff. Oh, blank, early birthday. Mine's on Saturday, I think. You don't remember your birthday on Well, happy birthday to you. All right. Which of these facts seem the weirdest? Okay, let me go back here. And before I get into that, I had somebody say, fun fact, Julius Caesar slept his way to be general with Roman generals. Kind of like the way most of these guys sleep their way through with the Grand Wizard in the clan. They bend over to get everything. Anyway, kind of like that. Anyway, that's a fun fact there too. Yeah. Which of these facts seem weirdest? Napoleon he and his men were once attacked by 3,000 rabbits they set loose. What's up, Doc? 35% of you say that's the weirdest fact. History fact. Egyptian men and women wore makeup, 15% of the vote. Started the glam movement, the hairband movement. King Henry VIII, I am, was his own doctor. So he could prescribe cocaine or whatever he wanted, 14% of the votes there. And Alexander the Great once spent 6 days buried alive, 36% of the votes there. Well, the birth certificate said 1, but the paperwork from the hospital says another date. So I just used the one that's on the birth certificate because it's government. Oh, okay. Don't know when you're born. That's okay. Well, wow. All right, here's a couple of other news. We told you that. What you gonna do, brother? That Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler too, but he lost 300 matches. So it was the opposite of Goldberg. It was Aberg. Crash and burn. All right, here's another, and we told you that Bloody Mary was really originally called the Red Snapper. Did you know that George Washington, the first president of the United States, opened a whiskey distillery, right after he stepped down from being a president? By 1799, it was one of the largest whiskey distilleries in the country but burned down after his death in 1814. Poopy Pie said, not like my parents bothered to remind me which. Wow, that was kind of crappy. Thomas Edison held over 1,000 patents on everything you could think of, from vote recording machines, everything else, which he passed everything over to the government. Or did the government take it from him? Some of my researchers out there, listeners are called researchers. Don't let them call you a conspiracy theory because you're a researcher when you come into my place. Okay. Even though I may or may not agree with you, but still, you're a researcher. All right. Some researchers might say the government took it from him. Cleopatra was not Egyptian. Believe it or not, the Egyptian queen was actually a Greek heritage. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln was wanted by the FBI? Oh, yeah. The FBI spied on Abraham Lincoln for decades. After arriving on American shores and being an outright supporter of the civil rights movement and other organizations, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, who liked to dress in dresses, decided to keep tabs on the famous scientist because you're a left-wing organizer. They compiled 1,427-page documents on Einstein and his life while in the United States. You know that J. Edgar Hoover, they named the Hoover Dam after. You know J. Edgar Hoover, guys, he had this secret about dressing up in women's clothing. I think that he did all this research on people like that and JFK and Martin Luther King. And good morning to BK on the air. I forgot to say hello to you live on air. There you go. Hey, good morning to you. You know that he did all this on everybody because he probably didn't want nobody to find out about his secrets. I don't think the FBI existed until after Lincoln was long dead. They went after MLK. Yeah, I was talking about the government taking Thomas Edison's patents and Lincoln. I think I got that BR got confused, was making fun of Lincoln wrestling earlier. But the FBI spied on Albert Einstein. Did I say Abraham Lincoln? I should say Albert Einstein. Did I say Abraham Lincoln? BR. Sorry, not Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein. Blah, 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 blah. Look, I just fake newsed you guys. Sorry about that, guys. I meant to say Albert Einstein is sitting right in front of me, one of the greatest scientists ever. Oh, Lord. Sorry. Thank you, BR, for pointing that out for me, brother. I'd have kept on going, Abraham Lincoln, and the FBI went after Abraham Lincoln because he came to these shores, and Abraham Lincoln was born here. Abraham Lincoln is Albert Einstein. I just talked about Abraham Lincoln being a wrestler. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Thomas Jefferson. Now, this is Thomas Jefferson. Helped make ice cream popular in America. Thomas Jefferson loved a big helping of the frozen delight when it was first spread in America. Oh, Lord. And I'm only giving you these weird facts because of the poll question today. Time traveler Abe was a good story. I know, right? Abe from the past went to the future, and they arrested him because the FBI says this guy sure does look like Abraham Lincoln, but he was shot hundreds of years ago. Probably 50 or something like that. I don't know. Damn, y'all remember that Dr. Phil episode of the missing teen and the dad refusing to do a lie detector test, give information, and it came out he killed the boy over photos of the dad and a bra eating poop? Oh, I don't remember that one, but sounds about right. What the heck is Cleopatra? Is half Greek? Yeah, she's Greek, half Greek. She wasn't even Egyptian. I told you to get some weird history today, that facts that we didn't know, we didn't really pay attention to. If they taught all this stuff to us in school, it would have been more fun, especially if the teacher would have told me Abraham Lincoln instead of Albert Einstein. I'm like, but you told me I wrote it in my notes and said this. Well, everybody gets an A because I said that day. Oh, good thing I'm not a history teacher, guys. You guys would have failed. I'd have said, no, it's Albert Einstein. Why did y'all all answer Abraham Lincoln? Ryan, because you told, no, I didn't tell you that. I've been a terrible history teacher. Terrible history teacher. Everybody said, laugh aloud. It's my job. I got to know. There you go. But anyway, let's see. This one I know you all guys know already. The Egyptians used moldy bread as medicine. Did you know there was a short war that was only 38 minutes that the British won? Do you guys know which British war that was? Oh man. Wait. I actually got another one on Abraham Lincoln. This really is Abraham Lincoln BR. So thanks for helping me out. Oh man. The Beatles invasion. Yes. That was kind of faked because Elvis Presley was famous. You know, Abraham Lincoln not only was a successful wrestler, actually, he was unsuccessful, losing 300 matches, but he was also president of the United States. But that man while he was in law school, what do lawyers do most of the time in law school? That's right, Horrifying History. What you answered my question there, the 38-minute war between Britain and, yeah, you got that right. She got it right. That's why she's the professor coming up next hour. And we're doing weird stuff, weird things. Now, Abraham Lincoln, like most lawyers, had to have, he fought 300 times. He lost all times. That's what it said earlier. He lost all 300 or 600 times. He lost all of the, he was defeated. He lost every single match. He was the opposite of Goldberg. But also, since he couldn't become a successful wrestler, he couldn't be the next Bill Goldberg. He was going to be a future president. He was going to law school. He mixed a mean cocktail because he was a licensed bartender. So Abraham Lincoln was a loser wrestler 300 times. He lost all those matches. It said right there, he lost all the matches earlier in the thing. He was a bartender, licensed bartender. He became president. We still use moldy bread over here, whenever we run out of money. And Horrifying History answered that question earlier. All right, guys. Oh, no. I don't want my Russian listeners, cover your ears. This one's going to be bad for you. People celebrate the victory so hard in World War II in Russia. The Soviet Union, just 22 hours after the war ended, Russia ran out of, Bali, you're going to hate this, too, when he comes on, vodka. All right, guys, calm down. It's all right. That happened after World War II. Oh, man, we're going to get ready to take a break here in just a few moments, so stay with us. Right on the nose, we're noteworthy notes. You're listening to RyanORadio Penitentiary. We go inside the Horrifying History 101 coming up in the next period. And remember, it was not Abraham Lincoln, it was Albert Einstein that the FBI was spying on. Also, Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler, lost all 300 matches, and he was a licensed bartender. Maybe that's why he lost all those matches, because, he was probably drunk while he was wrestling. Back in a moment. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm not too bad. I'm sucking on some halls right now because my voice isn't doing the best, but other than that, I'm good.
Well, that's not fun.
No, I don't know what it is. I think it's allergies or just disappointment in the Stanley Cup Finals, but it could be either.
Okay, it's the Stanley Cup Finals. Congratulations to the Panthers.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a pinch, what's up? Yeah, it was a good game. My midday guy who's in Canada right now, he's originally from Canada. He's got to go. He's thinking about going back this week for a couple of days because they're going to have the parade down there. And of course, I was afraid that the Stanley Cup was going to, I wasn't worried about the player getting eaten by sharks or attacked by sharks because sharks are all over Florida right now. I was more worried about Stanley Cup personally. But he's supposed to be going back. But I'm not sure if he really wants to go back since his wife is a hardcore Oilers fan. And she went to that game, and she was there in Florida. So I was kind of feel like he'd want to stay away for a while.
Well, honestly, I really think that Connor McDavid earned that Conn Smythe.
Oh, he did.
Like,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
He played the season of his life. He really did.
He did.
But
Catface, what's up?
They all put on a great show. It was fantastic. Did you hear what Boston Pizza announced for the last game?
What did they announce?
Well, Boston Pizza is a Canadian-based chain, and so the owner, he's actually
Hello,
a
Northwoods,
officer,
Wisconsin.
and he said, if Oilers win, we will be giving free pizzas throughout Canada. He just saved himself a lot of money.
Yeah, he did. Well, he knew he already knew how the game was going to turn out because everything's fixed. Everything's fixed from games to politics to everything's fixed. I mean, Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler, and he lost all of his matches.
Did you know that Abraham Lincoln was also said to be a psychic?
I believe that. He was also a vampire hunter.
Exactly. But the thing is, clearly he wasn't psychic about himself.
No, he saw somebody shooting him, and he couldn't see it clearly because they were shooting him from behind.
What he did know, allegedly, he did know that he would finish one term, get reelected, and he would die in that second term. And that's what he actually said would happen because he had a weird dream. And it look it up, has to do with a doppelganger that he's seen.
Right.
And doppelgangers are said historically to be a death omen. So he was dead soon after.
What do you mean might lose the house? Whoa, what's going on in a pinch? Anyway, wow. I'll look it up for sure. And thank you, Matt, for sharing my information on there, buddy. Share it again so everybody can help a brother out. $sign RyanShelander if you want to donate. Yes, to the warden. In the pinch, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Sorry I'm interrupting you, Brenda, but during the break, I like to speak to the audience.
And read the cool comments.
Let them feel like they're part of the show.
Well, they are.
Sometimes they are. Now mine are. They really. You can't be a troll and come into this place.
Oh no.
Not in my field.
Bad idea for trolls.
Bad idea for trolls to come into this one. Yeah. It's got to be taxes. It's got to be taxes. Sorry, is it because of tax? It's got to be. I know that they're going up on that, and I don't know why they're doing that for property taxes for a lot of the elderly people. That's just silly, guys. That means they got to go out and work again. They got to go and find a job.
A report that I read yesterday, and I live in the city that has, I think it's the 5th or 6th highest taxes in Canada.
Oh.
Like, that makes me feel great.
Wow.
But the advantage is, I bought my house, 5 years ago, before our market here in this city really took a major jump. And I could theoretically, if I sold my house today, make about $250,000 profit.
Woo.
But where would you live?
Well, you can always move. There's plenty of places to move in Canada. You could just move. You could just move closer to a place with your less favorite hockey team and be around all those wonderful people.
Well, I've done that for 6 years. Been there, done that, got the poster.
You can always move across the border into Detroit with where Red Bricks lives.
I'm good.
Oh, you don't want to move to America? What's wrong with you?
So it's actually funny when they were playing the hockey playoffs, and then games were in Edmonton.
Yeah, landlord was telling us.
We were watching it. It's a neighborhood. We all just kind of get together at one place and watch it. And I start laughing because you see those parties, and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. Knowing where they are, I'm like, oh, the people are going to be pissed the next day to clean up that mess.
Oh, I know. Well, you guys shut down for a holiday in Canada. Over in America, we were like, it's just another sports event. The Panthers are going to win. And we
I'm upset. I should have had, Monday should have been a national holiday for us, and it wasn't. Hockey's our religion, so therefore.
Oh, I know.
It's a holiday.
I know. That's why it's hard for some of the Oilers fans to be hardcore on it. But if the Panthers had lost, Panthers fans down there were ready to fire their head coach 3 days ago. If we don't win,
the memes and everything about him is hilarious.
Oh.
But the sad thing is, last month I predicted that a Canadian team would not win the cup. I'm really upset that I was correct. But
oh,
and I even said, well, it's the Oilers. They're going to choke eventually.
He's just jealous of you. Yeah, they're gonna.
Sorry for saying that comment, but I was right.
Yeah. Well, really that last game, he had some ups and downs in it, but it was still probably one of the best games ever. Sorry to hear that in a pinch. I tell you what, them husbands and exes are always, maybe you should listen to some of the stories that Brenda tells, and you know how to get rid of an ex. Get rid of your wife's ex-husband.
A whole lot of death today, and let me tell you, when you hear this, it's going to change your mind about what you should do when your life is done. And I'm going to ask you that question.
Okay.
What do you want to happen to your body when you die? And after researching this, I'm good. Cremation immediately is a great idea.
Oh, I want the worms to eat me. I want to be thrown into the ocean, let the sharks tear me apart. All the cool things, because it's just a body. I'm not in it anymore. So my soul's gonna be out there going, do some cool things with it. Do some cool things. You're gonna throw me in a box? Come on, that's not cool. Oh, you didn't. And then up there, people talking about people that had your funeral. He was a great guy. Wait a minute, you didn't even like me when I was alive. I want to be at my own funeral. I'm going to hop my own funeral going, this jabroni didn't even like me.
My mom always would say to me, don't spend money on a
Probably would
funeral.
have
Just
assaulted
throw
him
me
years
up the
ago if I
back then.
didn't already have such a
Fine.
bad background. I hear you in a pinch.
But then I'm like, my yard isn't that big, and you're going to smell after a couple days.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to take the reciprocal saw and break you up and maybe put you in different locations.
She says she'll come back and get you if you don't put it in different locations now.
That is true. I fully expect my mom to haunt me for just a little bit, just to say, told you so.
Well, most people's parents haunt them for the rest of their lives anyway. So, Brenda, don't eat that.
What do you think you're doing staying out that late?
Look, don't make me go get your daddy.
Don't make me come back to your place. Don't make me do it.
So
how've you been?
Oh, I've been doing well, just trying to keep everything floating here. It's been going well here. Station's got a lot of listeners. The feed goes up and down on the YouTube, but there's a lot of people listening there. And it's just a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of work going on. So, I'm ready to get some help.
Sounds like you're busy.
I am busy. I need some help. And at least I'm still in radio, where I know several people are not in radio anymore. They were in radio 2 weeks ago, and their companies sold out to corporations. All the corporations, everybody like, well, they're great. iHeart's great, and so-and-so's great, and so-and-so's great. I'm like, yeah, but they're corporations. All they're doing is putting their syndicated shows on and putting music on and getting rid of people. And I had some friends that a company got bought out in Florida, And anyway, long story short is one of them's looking for a place. One of them has a syndicated show, and he wants to they want to put the syndicated show here on this station. It's a very well-known person, and they contacted me. And I was like, we'll see what advertisers in the Atlanta market want to pay for this show. And then we'll put you on. I can't just put anything on.
Well, no, you have your own genre, for lack of better term.
Well, most of my people pay for their time here, so, and if it's a syndicated show, it's paid for by advertisers. So, this show, it's pretty popular. So, we'll see. Good morning, Cher. Happy Hump Day to you too. But what kind of help do I need in a pinch? I need a salesperson. I need salespeople.
It's hard being a one-man show.
It's hard being a one-man show. I need salespeople to sell for the station and the show. Now, Red's going to make me a theme song for my show.
It's rap, correct?
Rap, yes.
That should be interesting.
Should be. Why not? I mean, I got to get hip. Got to get the hip cool kids to try to like me.
Well, that's actually, even in podcasting, people don't realize that I do everything. So like literally everything for my show.
Right.
It's not as easy as it looks. And
nope.
When you say to people you're a podcaster, a lot of people think you're just a hobbyist or you're in your basement, recording out of your basement, which technically I am.
Yeah, but there's a big.
People absolutely have no idea the work that goes into just one show, and you have an entire station of shows.
Yes.
Just imagine
yes.
how bad
exactly
that would make you.
Exactly, in a pinch, that's what I'm looking for. All right, we're getting ready to go on, Brenda. Here we go.
Awesome.
Welcome back in. It's the final period of play on this weird Wednesday for you. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up here this hour, we're going inside Horrifying History 101. That is coming up next. Good morning to Cher, in the pinch, and everybody joining us this morning in the final period. Coming up, we'll get the answer to the poll question, and we'll close that out in just a few. But first, 50,000 plus of you worldwide on the Shoutcast, Shout It Out Loud across the RyanORadio media page, Earth Rock Radio, New Mexico, Arizona, and the Navajo Nation. We're across the British Columbia Isles of Canada. And finally, 99.1 FM WQEE The Key in Atlanta. That's right, the Atlanta market. We welcome you guys being with us into the show. It's the final period of play, and it's time to get them pens and papers ready. We were pre-crime Wednesday. We were giving you a little bit of facts for you. Hope you wrote all those facts down, because now it's time for Horrifying History 101. And our guest, she is the host of Horrifying History, which is a show about history being stained by the blood of the unknown, the paranormal, and much, much more. Ooh, that's scary. Please welcome our guest, the host and creator of the podcast Horrifying History, and I like to call her the Professor, Brenda Ganske. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing good this morning. How about you?
Well, the good news is it's a sunshiny day, no snow. It's great.
Yeah, we don't get snow here in the South too often. So, no snow here. It's a sunshiny day, too. I think you need to start calling yourself the Professor. I think I
will. It's pretty cool.
I mean, Horrifying History. Why not? And you could do a spinoff for your show. It's the Professor's Minute. You can do the Professor's Minute and put that out there every day. Here's the Professor's Minute, and have like a couple of minutes segment of you out on the internet every day. Well, did you know that here is history about this, but here's the real history, like we always get into. So that's what I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that idea.
I'm giving it to you. I want you to do it. I will, because you always come up with great little notes. And if you put those little segments out every day, people will be like, "Whoa, what? I didn't know that Adolf Hitler danced in a dress with his ex-girlfriend." Or whatever, I'm just making something up. But she wouldn't make the stories up. She'd make it true. All right, before we get into this morning's topic, which is kind of going to bury us, Which of these facts seem the weirdest, ladies and gentlemen? 35% of you say Napoleon and his men once being attacked by 3,000 rabbits. What's up, Doc? Also, Egyptian men and women both wearing makeup. It was for protection. 16% of the votes. King Henry VIII was a doctor, so he could prescribe his own medicine. 14% of the votes. And Alexander the Great once spent 6 days buried alive. This is perfect for today's show. 35% of votes. Which one of those do you think of those facts seem the weirdest to you?
Well, I went and voted, and I voted for King Henry. And the reason behind that is simple. There has been a long-standing rumor that he actually had syphilis. So I think it's very ironic that he had syphilis,
he did,
allegedly, and he was a doctor.
Yep. But he did that just so that he could, pop his pills and take his cocaine or whatever kind of drugs they had back then.
All about the morphine back then.
All about the morphine.
The morphine and the opium.
All right, that was the things he had. And no wonder he kept chopping his wife's heads off.
Yeah, no kidding. He probably thought, what's this? Why does she have 8 heads? Why does she have a body of a lizard? I don't understand.
Let me chop all these heads off. I'm going to chop these heads off. It's only got one head. It's okay, Tudor family. And there's another new one out about one of his ex-wives, or one of his, not ex-wives, I guess they would call his ex-wives. Once their heads chopped off, they're his ex. One of his wives, and once again, there's another series out about it. Did you know that?
Well, tell us about it.
Well, it's on Netflix, and it's following how, he decided she said she could give him a son. And of course, we know in the end she didn't. We know what happened to her. She lost her head over it. So
The funny thing is ironic about that is the fact that it is the males that are actually the ones that determine sex.
I know, right? But they didn't know that back then.
Technically, it was all his fault, and she was the scapegoat.
No. He was a doctor. He knew all this. He knew it was her fault. Remember, he's a doctor.
He's conveniently a doctor when it comes to cutting off heads of his wife.
Yeah, he was a doctor. He prescribed medicines. He said that if a woman couldn't give a man a baby boy, that she was inadequate. I mean, he was a doctor. He knew it all.
He is. King, doctor. What's the difference?
King, doctor, stud, whatever. So more movies coming out about that. More shows coming out about that. It's hard for me when I already know the end what's going to happen. And if they're like, we're going to have a 10-year series, I'm like, look, this woman didn't spend that long with him. She got her head chopped off before then.
And the one thing I couldn't understand about this whole scenario is the fact that, okay, if a guy who was hitting on me, for example, like,
right,
hey, come back to my castle, I would be like, didn't you have at this point 4 exes? One of them you just are banished to a convent. The rest of them you cut off your head. Maybe that's a bad idea. But nobody thought that. They're like, yes, that's good.
Well, you know why? Why that was. He did what every player does. He was like, hey, baby, you know what? I mean, it wasn't my fault. I mean, those 4 women really didn't mean that much to me, but you mean a lot to me. I mean, they used me because they wanted to be the queen. You really do love me. Yeah, I chopped a few of them's head off, but that's what we do as a king. So, but just remember this: I won't do that to you.
Either that, or it's like, oh, she slipped and fell on that big axe that I just happened to have on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, she just slipped and fell, and then it just happened.
And over and over again until her head fell off.
Oh man! All right, well, let's get into our subject today, which is a pretty hefty subject, and you could either feel the flames of it or be buried. So let's talk a little bit about our subject today.
Well, before we get started, Ryan, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have a little bit of a sore throat today.
No problem.
So when you pass away, what would you like to happen to your body? Are you more of a cremation guy? Would you like burial? Or maybe a
Well, mausoleum would be great, but probably they're probably just going to throw me in an old wooden box and put me out in the ocean.
Well, my mom and I had that discussion in the last year.
Right.
And she told me that she was thinking of donating her body to science when she dies. And she said,
Cool.
no, I'm not going to use it anyway, so why not help somebody?
Hey, cool. I love that.
Right, but obviously being the supportive daughter, I said, I'll support whatever you choose. And ultimately, she decided just to be an organ donor and not donate her whole body to science. And she decided to have her body cremated. But after doing research for today, I used to be a burial girl. Now I'm like, I'm into cremation. And the second my heart stops, just light me on fire, because I've learned that sometimes people's wishes do not work out how they planned.
Well, if they burn you, Brenda, are they gonna say you're a witch?
I'm good with that.
You're good with that? Okay. Well, when your mom said and donate her body, did you say, well, let's go ahead and get that taken care of now? I'm just kidding. I love her.
I once in a while threatened to put her in one of those bad homes in 60 minutes. But she knows that I wouldn't do that.
That's why she lives on the other side of the province.
Yeah, she's like on the other side of the country. Maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this.
So I'm going to give you an example of what I learned.
Okay.
So after Jim Stouffer's mother passed away, he wanted to donate his mother's body to science. And the reason is she had Alzheimer's. And he was assured by the Biological Research Center in Phoenix that they would give his mother's brain to science to help with Alzheimer's research. So then what they call is body broker. So a body broker from this company arrived about 45 minutes after Jim's mom's death, and he helped Jim fill out all the required paperwork. Now, 10 days later, Jim received back his mother's ashes in a wooden box, and Jim started to mourn his mother. But the truth of the matter is that Jim didn't know that the ashes he received was actually only his mother's hand, and that's it. He didn't know that the rest of his mother's body was given to the U.S. Army for a Pentagon experiment. So what they used his mother for was a test dummy in an IED explosion experiment. So as Jim later told television station KNXV,
right,
he was supposedly strapped in a chair or on some sort of apparatus, and a detonation took place underneath her to basically get an idea what the human body would go through when a vehicle was hit with an IUD. That clearly this is not what he or she wanted, and it was this revelation that led Jim and over 20 other people to file a lawsuit against the Biological Resource Center, alleging fraud and deception. Now, interestingly, in 2019, a jury awarded $58 million in damages to the plaintiffs in this case. They found that the Biological Resource Center was purposely deceiving families into donating their loved ones' bodies to science, but in actuality, they were cutting them up and distributing them throughout the United States for their own profit. So 10 of the 21 scientists were awarded damages, which included $50 million of punitive and $8 million in compensation. So one of the lawyers for this class action was a man named Michael S. Berg, and he made a statement about this being one of the first cases of this kind in the body brokering business, and he hoped that this verdict was actually going to send a message to the rest of the industry about consequences for deceiving body donors. He said, and I quote, "The selling of human remains is an underground industry that most people don't know about. These funeral homes defrauded grieving families by obtaining the remains of their loved ones and then selling their body parts on the black market. It's an honor to help bring an element of closure to the families who suffered from these horrific actions of these individuals." So this settlement came after years of long investigations, and it resulted in convictions and numerous lawsuits against body brokers in this industry. So the Biological Resource Center owner was a man named Stephen Gore. He was convicted in 2015 of running an illegal enterprise for selling body parts from people with infectious diseases to unwitting buyers. Now, what do you think he got for a punishment for this?
A little slap on the wrist. Don't do that again.
You are right. Believe it or not, he only got 4 months probation for doing this. 4 months probation. Now, it's legal in the United States to sell body parts for research, but it's not legal to sell any infected or diseased ones or to deceive loved ones into donating accused, and Stephen was doing all of it. So why do you think selling body parts that are infected or diseased is a big no-no?
It's not good, because if you put it in another body, that disease is just going to spread.
You are correct.
Yeah.
And also you have an issue too. Say for example, with HIV.
Exactly.
Well, even if you are, say, a doctor in a medical school working with a cadaver, and that cadaver is infected with HIV, and that could infect you with HIV. And Stephen Gore couldn't care less about that. What they did is they would solicit bodies from mourning families who were looking to donate their loved ones for medical research. They would offer cremation to a portion of the body for free, but during these court cases, the plaintiffs said they had no idea that their family members would be chopped up, thrown into freezers with hundreds of other body parts, and that the bodies would be used for everything from ballistic testing to being crash test dummies.
Ugh.
Like, can you imagine if grandma was a crash test dummy?
Grandma's fulfilling her dreams of riding in a fast car after death.
Well, now, this is going to be a little bit of a shocker to you, because I thought a human body would be worth a little bit more than what they were selling for.
Okay.
So this company would sell bodies for $5,893. And they would sell them and say, you could do whatever you want with this body. So after the investigation, it was discovered that if people specifically checked the boxes on the document saying they did not give any consent to their loved ones being used in violent experiments, the Biological Resource Center ignored all of this just for their profit. So in Jim Stouffer's situation, what we talked about earlier, he claimed he checked no to military or traffic-based experiments, yet his mom ended up as a crash test dummy. So in another case, a body of a military veteran was sent to the Defense Department for experimentation, and his family specifically didn't authorize this. And the reason they didn't is for years the veteran started despising veteran affairs after he received insufficient medical care. He didn't want his body at all to go to be with the military anymore. But his family was very aware of his feelings. They made sure his body, they checked the right things to not be provided to the military. But again, Biological Resource Centers, they didn't care.
Right.
And ultimately, they only cared about getting a profit, and they would do or say anything to get it. So how did all this mess start?
Ooh.
So Stephen Gore, he founded the Biological Resource Center in 2004 after he became bored selling insurance.
No.
Now, you would think that you would have medical background to be in this business, right?
Exactly. Well,
No.
kind of like King
He actually
Henry.
started learning about the body trade on the internet, and that's how he decided he was going to get rich. And he did. Interestingly, it was only by chance that 10 years later, his company practices fell under public scrutiny. So the company first came on law enforcement's radar when a Detroit-based body broker was caught trying to cross the border between the U.S. and Canada with a bunch of severed heads. Now, the following year, 2 bloody coolers were found in a Detroit warehouse. They leaked all over the floor, and when it did, the workers there started to kind of get alarmed. So they called in federal authorities to come and investigate this, and when they showed up, they discovered 8 severed heads packaged in trash bags, resting in pools of blood. So these heads were tested, and it was discovered that one of the heads came from an individual who died of bacterial sepsis and pneumonia. And there was an address on these coolers that led to a body broker named Arthur Rasberg. So when Arthur was arrested in 2016, authorities said that this arrest was significant in steps to police the body brokerage industry and how this demonstrated they're making the public a priority. But here's the problem with this. The problem was law enforcement missed multiple opportunities to stop Arthur what he was doing. This resulted in many more victims, and eventually he got charged. So his indictment alleged that Arthur stored bodies destined for medical education and training in grisly conditions, and, well, he dismembered them using a chainsaw. He was accused of endangering his clients, who are mostly healthcare workers, by providing them cadavers and severed heads that were infected with diseases like HIV and hepatitis.
That's bad.
It's pretty bad. Now, warning signs about all these activities dated back at least 12 years. So think about how many people were affected by this. So in the mid-2000s, I was reprimanded by the New York State health inspectors for failing to provide provide any documentation that the bodies he got was actually willingly donated. Also, at the same time, border agents notified authorities that 10 human heads he was trying to get him over the border into Canada. So over the next 3 years after this incident, border agents documented 5 similar border crossing cross shipments, and this one actually included a bucket of severed male genitalia. Why did they send genitalia over the border?
Well, there's just not enough up there in Canada for you ladies.
I guess so. But here's the thing. With all of this mess, authorities knew about it, but they didn't raid Arthur's warehouse until December of 2013. They let it go. Now, when they finally decided to inspect his warehouse, Ryan, what they found was horrifying.
Oh.
The building itself was filthy, had piles of dead flies all over the floor,
Ooh.
and this included what Arthur called his cutting room.
Oh!
Dry blood was all over the floor. Body parts were found frozen together in a facility that had no heat, no running water, or working bathrooms. Body parts were stored in a variety of containers, like Rubbermaid bins and 55-gallon drums. Tools, like chainsaws and circular saws that you get at Home Depot, lay dirty on unclean surfaces, and even grosser, agents found human remains and food sitting right beside each other. Now, if that isn't gross enough for you, Ryan, human fetuses were found. These appeared to be in their second trimester and were submerged in liquid, which included other people's brain tissue. So, how did Arthur get all these, or what his plans were? It's unclear, because he didn't really have any documentation for people to inspect.
He was going to build a
What's
Frankenstein.
clear, he made a profit for disrespecting the dead in the way he was. It is believed he made over $13.3 million over 16 years, either selling or renting out the dead. So, how did he get involved in this? It's even scarier than the last guy.
Oh my
Arthur
goodness.
was hired in 1984 by the University of Michigan's body donation program. They used cadavers for anatomy classes and research there. So on paper, originally he seemed like the perfect candidate for the job. He was a young man with a community college degree and a strong work ethic.
Good.
This guy, he charmed his coworkers, with them later saying that he had a sort of charisma about him. He was energetic, he loved to keep busy, and he came up with a lot of ideas that helped this organization at a very critical time. Because according to the university's archives, the program was dealing with many complaints from the donor families concerning poor customer service. So this program saw Arthur as the guy that was going to help them rebound from this. But in 1988, Arthur was featured in the Ann Arbor Observer newspaper. And when he was there, he talked about the significance of using cadavers in a classroom. He also told his story how he got into the field. A friend bet him $10 that he would not fill out an application to work in a funeral home. So he did, and he got his $10. The rest was history. Now, that was his education to get into the field.
Oh, Lord.
Now, 2 years after this, he left school, and records show that he left after he received unspecified allegations of misconduct. We're never going to know for sure what he did, since he got a court order to bar the release of his personal records. But people that allege they have direct knowledge of the situation disclosed the alleged issue. Now, supposedly, Arthur mishandled donors' ashes, which is pretty much the worst, like one of the worst things you could do in the funeral industry. So now that all this was hidden, Arthur decided in early 1990 to sell his body parts for profit. Now, looking at his educational background, you're kind of seeing why maybe he decided to do what he did later. So, you're also, if I were taking a guess right now, Ryan, you're probably thinking that how could Arthur, people like him, get away with acting so disrespectfully concerning human remains?
Yes, that's correct. I'm thinking, what's wrong with him?
Well, one reason is people like Arthur, they avoided scrutiny due to non-existent or not consistent state laws related to the sales of human body parts. So just to give you some stats, currently 10 U.S. states provide clear and meaningful oversight into this business, but all of them do it differently. And that led to some very big cracks that people like Arthur could just hide in. So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
In Virginia and Florida states, regulators need advance permission before a broker can bring any body parts into these states for research or training.
Right.
But in Oklahoma and Oregon, regulators do not require any prior approval to ship any body part.
Makes sense.
They allegedly do nonprofit and requires brokers to register with health authorities hasn't even been implemented since legislature did not authorize the funds to make this happen. So in the state of Maine, law requires brokers to be registered, but officials actually haven't even bothered creating any rules around this yet, since nobody actually applied for a permit. So some of the tightest controls on body brokers were actually put in place by the New York State Health Department. These guys require inspections, and annual specific reporting to be submitted to them.
Oh, of course, it's New York.
None of this in New York actually was enough to stop Arthur.
Nope.
So going back to what this guy did, in 2004, a New York State inspector traveled to Arthur's warehouse in Detroit. Now, even though Arthur was notified of this visit a week in advance, the inspector found a lot of serious deficiencies, which included Arthur couldn't provide documents proving that any of the bodies he had were willingly donated. In fact, there were no records about what happened to whole bodies or body parts that was received in that facility. He claimed that privacy laws and supplier policies prevented him from giving any proof of this to the inspector, but officials told him that was no excuse because you have to supply the family's consent form. And then finally, after he didn't provide the information in 2006, they said you can no longer ship any body parts to New York until you fix this. But amazingly, even though he didn't, by 2007, they issued Arthur a provisional license, which allowed him to resume his operations. Now, concerning this, New York health officials stated publicly that they would not notify any other state agencies since regulatory agencies did not exist in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
So the records show that Arthur's business continued after all of this, for lack of better terms, alarming things that was found. And it continued without any issue outside New York State. To give you an idea, between 2005 and 2007, he distributed at least 200 more severed heads, just like he did previously.
Gummit. Well, I mean, you're in the business of having a side hustle and making money, and if you got 200 heads to sell, I mean, you got to get them sold because they don't stay frozen long.
Well, it's interesting because the other agencies that were getting the heads and the bodies, it's not like they didn't have a heads up here that something was really wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because during this period, Walter Mitchell, who was the owner of BioGift, which is an Oregon body donation firm, said that he stopped supplying body parts to Arthur after an incident that occurred in 2006. Now, apparently, a week after shipping 2 human torsos to Arthur in Detroit, Walter got a phone call from the airline that transported them. Nobody picked up his packages at the airport. So the airline told Walter that these coolers were leaking and smelled like decay. Now, ultimately, Arthur did pick up the decomposing body parts. What he did with these, nobody has any idea. So now I want
Weekend at Bernie's.
Ryan, are you starting to think cremation's a good idea?
I'm thinking it's a good idea. I mean, it is. Oh man, let's take a short break and we'll talk more about this after the break. As we've got Horrifying History host Brenda Ganske with us this morning. I'm thinking that we might need to head into that cremation, or if somebody wants to play Weekend at Bernie's with my body, that'd be fine too. Back in a moment.
I think Bernie had more fun dead than alive.
He sure did.
That was a great movie.
It was a good movie. Everybody's yuck, gross. Oh no.
It's about to get worse.
Oh, you're grossing out my listeners. You're grossing my listeners out. It's really horrifying history.
When I said I'm stepping it up today, I'm stepping it up. And can you imagine just go on the internet, body broker. I just want to buy a bunch of arms. And that's going to be the terrifying thing that your listeners are going to hear just in the next few minutes is they necessarily sell those to medical people. Think about that for a second. Why would you want to say a bucket of male genitalia?
Well, some women are lonely, so.
There's better ways to go about it. It's called Tinder.
Tinder don't work.
Swipe right, swipe left. It's a better idea.
Yeah, but you got to think about it. Those talk back to you. These are just units.
Oh, there's other ways too. You can do that too without them talking back.
Exactly.
And that's by going to a store that's usually in a strip mall with a suggested name.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. CDP, thank you for your service there in Afghanistan, by the way. I will thank her. Wonder Hippie says, thank you for the information, Brenda.
Well, you're welcome. Cremation's the way to go.
Cremation is the way to go now. Brenda's like she's going to cremate herself.
Oh,
fire, 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 fire.
The second I feel like right before I take my last breath, I'll just douse myself with gasoline and light a match. I don't want somebody to negotiate a deal for my body and it ends up in a bucket.
Or you could just end up, going to the beach in Florida with your friends. All right, here we go. We're coming back. Welcome back into this in-depth burial edition of the RyanORadio Penitentiary. We have from Horrifying History, I like to call her the professor, the one, the only, Brenda Ganske, as we continue talking about this in-depth talk about burial and cremation. And most of you have already made your decisions and your final burial decisions. Today, funeral director Brenda Ganske will tell you more.
All I'm trying to do is give you good advice.
I know, I appreciate it. Oh, well, we've got a few more minutes left with you. Let's get the second half of this underway. You said the first half was nice.
Well, this is about to get a lot worse.
Oh, Lord.
So, by the mid-2000s, Arthur actually decided to expand the body business, and this led to a bankruptcy for him. So, in 2005, Arthur purchased a funeral home and a warehouse for $1.8 million in Richmond, Virginia. He chose the property specifically because it was located near two interstate highway exits, a convention center, and a medical school. So his plan was to just bring in loads of cadavers to be stored in his warehouse, and as needed, he'd have them transported over to the funeral home and then to medical training events. So when local politicians heard this plan, they didn't like it. They had invested years and years of time to revitalize that specific neighborhood, and they thought, bringing bodies in every day would drive people away. So now he was facing community opposition. So Arthur abandoned this plan, and he started struggling financially. By late 2008, his company declared bankruptcy. Now, according to the records concerning this, Arthur listed body parts inventory and as part of his bankruptcy, and he said they had a value of $160,900.
Okay.
This included 91 heads, 18 spines, and 6 hips. Now, despite of him declaring bankruptcy and losing that building, he still continued to operate. From 2008 to 2013, 6 different body brokers sent him over 800 body parts that were worth thousands of dollars, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Federal authorities interacted with him at least a dozen times as he and his employees moved body parts over the U.S.-Canadian border. Now, he was stopped multiple times trying to return from Canada, and each time he did, he was carrying 10 human heads. I'm really glad that Border Patrol did stop that, just putting it out there. In 2012, picnic coolers containing 8 heads in a red liquid arrived at a Detroit airport. Now, the border agents alleged that Arthur told them that this liquid wasn't blood, but Listerine mouthwash, which he used to preserve these specimens. Just for the record, you don't use Listerine to preserve specimens.
No.
Now, but even though these comments would accelerate a federal investigation against Arthur, it didn't actually cause them to search his warehouse yet or stop him from doing business. So 7 months after this, Arthur's indictment alleges that he knowingly sent cadavers infected with hepatitis B and HIV to a medical convention in Washington. Now, luckily, the attendees that were handling this body were not harmed. But here's the scary thing. They were informed by anyone that they were a potential danger for years after this event. Now, by August of 2013, New York authorities decided that they had to go and inspect this Detroit warehouse once more. Now, once again, they found problems with the record keeping, or should I actually say lack thereof. But they didn't take any action against him, and he continued to get bodies for $5,000 and heads for $500 until later that year.
Wow, $500 a head.
It was December of 2013, after 4 years of being investigated. The FBI raided Arthur's warehouse and office. Inside, authorities found thousands of body parts.
Ooh.
Big court document. It stated that Arthur, he stored his human heads by stacking them directly on top of each other without any protective barriers. So now the FBI had the job to inform the families of the victims about Arthur's practices, and you can imagine that probably didn't go over well. So he was finally arrested in January 2016, and at this point, he told the FBI he was homeless and living out of his van. So can you imagine, Ryan, being a family member who donated their loved one, and then you're told by the FBI that the guy who owns the company you donated your loved one to is living out of his van? What would you think?
Like, is he living by the river out of his van like the guy from Saturday Night Live? I mean, I'd be like, wow. Wow. I'd be like, wow.
Here's the scary thing. Obviously, Arthur can't do this by himself. He worked with his wife, Elizabeth, and when she got questioned by the FBI, she threw her husband directly under that bus. So her name is Elizabeth, as I said, and Elizabeth told the story that in 2012, she actually traveled to an anesthesiology conference to meet with the American Association of Anesthesiologists in Washington. So she offered them body parts, including heads, to be used in their medical training for the very, very low price of only $55,000.
Good deal. So good deal. He's cutting price in half. Cut it in half.
Negotiation. Of course they jumped on this deal because that's actually a lot cheaper than they would have paid.
Yeah.
But what they didn't know is they were sent body parts that Arthur and Elizabeth knew came from patients infected with HIV.
Oh.
He purposely lied to the clients when he told them that they were infection and disease free. Now, Elizabeth also admitted that they were knowingly selling body parts infected with countless different types of infection or diseases, and that put doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, and medical students at a huge risk.
Ooh.
But Elizabeth's confession isn't done yet, Ryan. One of the most horrifying things she revealed was how Arthur treated the bodies when he cut them up for sale.
Okay.
He didn't use any type of medical equipment, and he didn't use any sterile equipment. What he did is he went down to Home Depot and got a reciprocating saw. He had got himself a bone saw and a chainsaw, and he used those to dismember these bodies in unsterile condition. Now, this allowed for cross-contamination between body and body parts of affected and not infected, which increased the risks of infection for those who got these parts. Now, these guys were selling anything to make money. So in general, they sold organs, limbs, bones, or heads, but they would even sell male genitalia. Anything that they could sell for money, they would do it. So between 2010 and 2013, there are records that show that Arthur sold severed male genitalia to individuals not even connected to the healthcare industry. What happened to these parts is a mystery. So it's legal for anyone to buy body parts in states. Private collectors or individuals who have more nefarious purposes could buy body parts or an entire dead body to do what they wanted to with it, and the victim of the family would never know about it.
That's the only way some people can get dates. Ugh.
There's much better. Tinder, people. Tinder.
Tinder, yes.
Swipe. That's all you need to do. Now.
Yeah, but it's not as fun.
When they were asked about how the bodies were stored, Elizabeth did clarify the reports that were given that resulted in the raid. Now, apparently, those who were neighboring their warehouse reported a horrible smell coming from that area. Now, they reported seeing bags, garbage bags, being brought in and out or into the buildings, but they wouldn't come back out. So Elizabeth then confirmed what the FBI found. Human heads were stacked up on each other on shelves without any barriers.
Wow.
Bodies were kept in fairly refrigerated condition, or they were thawed out in open air using garden hoses and cold water to speed up that process. Infected specimens were knowingly stored with non-infected body parts, and they were usually stored in leaking camping coolers filled with blood. Now, when these remains were transported, they didn't actually get those things that you need, like permits, or use that thing that you should do, special containment.
Yeah, go well, yeah.
They just decided to send the remains on public commercial flights in regular camping coolers and in garbage bags. Can you imagine the next flight you take that there's some heads in the cargo hold?
Well, you know, snakes on a plane are more dangerous. So, wow.
Now, the thing is, Elizabeth's part in this wasn't just getting the buyers. She assisted her husband in purchasing and selling bodies. Now, her role, she would track down bodies that she thought she could get for a discounted price because they were poor quality, they were decomposing, or were infected or diseased. Then she would ship them the cheapest way she could find using the storage methods that I mentioned. So Elizabeth and her would both lie to the family, saying that the remains would be donated to science, but most of them were never, ever donated at all. They were just sold for profit. They would not even give the families back the ashes of their loved ones. Most of the time, the ashes they gave to the family member was not their loved one at all. So after Elizabeth and Arthur were caught, the FBI started investigating their connections and their business associates. Now, this investigation showed many, many people were involved in this scheme. Many supposed donor centers were not giving bodies to medical research as they were supposed to be, but instead were selling these donated bodies for profit against family wishes. Some were found to be in possession of bodies with no records concerning how they were obtained. Many buyers, they didn't care about this as long as they got a great deal. Now, the donor and body broking organizations that the FBI investigated were found to be using below standard methods for dissecting, transporting, or preserving bodies. And all that led them back to the Biological Resource Center in Phoenix. So when that raid happened of the Biological Resource Center, the FBI, they were really grossed out by what they found, to be honest.
I'm sure.
So in their raid that took place in 2014, they found whatever they found was brought into that civil lawsuit that I mentioned in the beginning of the show. And they put that against the business and its owner, Stephen Gore. It was discovered they obtained human remains through false pretenses and lies. These body parts were sold for profit through various middlemen. They were not stored, treated, or disposed of with any dignity or respect. They would pile the parts up with no identification, saying who they came from, who they belonged to. They also found a bucket of limbs and a cooler filled with male genitalia.
Oh my God, what's wrong with these guys?
I know. They also discovered a large torso with its head being removed and another different, smaller head being sewn back on it like a Frankenstein sort of thing. They found male torsos and their limbs and genitals removed, and buckets and coolers filled with various body parts that included a bucket of heads and body parts sewn together in freezers that had no identification. So in 2015, Stephen, he pled guilty to conducting an illegal enterprise after accusations that he knowingly provided vendors with contaminated human tissue, and he used body parts in ways that the donors didn't permit. So in a letter to the judge that Stephen sent before his sentencing, Stephen said that he felt overwhelmed, but he worked in an industry with no formal regulations to give him reference for guidance. So I'm going to quote a direct line from his letter. He said, "I could have been more open about the process of donation on the brochure we put in public view. When deciding which donors could be eligible to donate, I should have hired a medical director rather than relying on medical knowledge from books or the internet." So what are your thoughts about this, Ryan? Is cremation sounding better? And what do you think about Stephen getting his medical knowledge from the internet?
I think just like a lot of people, Google University is where a lot of people go in 2024, but and probably back then, whatever Google University was. Also, I think cremation sounds pretty well, better now. And the Wandering Hippie wants to know, is there a documentary about this somewhere out there?
There is. Just do a quick search on documentaries and body brokers, and you will find it.
Oh.
Now, I'm going to give you some stats about this.
Okay.
This industry is considered to be worth about $1 billion per year in the U.S. alone. And this case didn't stop it. Now, where the Biological Research Center was working, which is Arizona, it still is a regulatory-free zone for the body parts industry. Now, of course, Stephen, when he was having his, or talking in front of the judge, he claimed he didn't set out to defraud anybody.
Right.
Oh, he just went back and blamed the industry for not being regulated properly.
Oh, Lord.
So as we know, Stephen got some jail time. But what about Arthur and Elizabeth?
Right.
So Arthur was sentenced to 9 years in prison for failing to disclose the bodies he sold were infected or diseased. He also was convicted of fraud and shipping hazardous materials. He also showed no remorse in court during his sentencing, and when he made his last rambling speech to the judge, he blamed any problems that happened on the groups or individuals who supplied him the bodies. So let's blame somebody else.
Somebody else's fault.
He insisted that the bequests were put to great use, even though he couldn't actually say what So in a victim statement that was given by a lady named Tracy Samolka in court, she spoke about her dad who died of ALS. She thought she arranged for his body to be used for research before cremation, but she had no idea that her father's head was sold to Arthur for $500 until it was found by investigators searching Arthur's warehouse. Now, Elizabeth, she ended up pleading guilty for wire fraud, and she cut a deal to testify against her husband at trial. So she admitted she provided human body parts to a customer of the International Biological Incorporated, and she falsely represented that these remains were free of any sort of infectious disease, even though she knew they test positive for hepatitis and HIV.
Wow.
She admitted that her and Arthur would purposely buy infected bodies on discount and then falsely would say that they were clean and resell them, since they knew that the companies would not actually buy infected body parts. Guess what she got from the judge?
What?
Punishment.
What?
2 years probation.
Oh, okay. Well, probation. I mean, as long as she's not, selling dead body parts more, she's fine. Brenda, we got a couple of minutes here. We got to get to a break and close out the show. Tell us how we can follow you, all that good stuff, and when the next show is coming out.
Well, Horrifying History, you can find us on any podcast provider, and we release episodes each Wednesday, and today is Wednesday. So have you ever heard of the biggest internet mystery in history, Cicada 3301?
No, what is it?
Well, Cicada 3301 was a group that were putting out mysterious messages in attempts to find the brightest minds of the internet. For what for? We don't know. For who they are? Don't know either. So that is why this is the biggest mystery even today on the internet. Now, if you guys want more spooky stuff, check out our social media. We're on Facebook at Horrifying History, Instagram and Threads at Horrifying_History, and on X at Horrifying HIST1.
All right, guys, that's been your lesson of the day. Make sure you take it to heart. All right, we're going to be back here tomorrow. I want to thank Brenda for being with us. We're going to let her out on good behavior. Back right after this to close out the RyanORadio Penitentiary. That was awesome as always.
It's scary. I'm seriously getting cremated. I don't want to take a chance something bad's going to happen to my legs.
I know, right? I thought I was going to be treated like Bernie and welcome Weekend at Bernie's, but I guess I better do something different.
Yes, exactly.
All right. We'll talk to you again next month. Hopefully we'll have one just as awesome as this one.
I have a challenge.
There you go. You got a challenge. We'll talk to you soon, Brenda.
Thanks, bye.
All right, bye. I'll be right back, guys. I got to go and watch the front door.
Service comes naturally. Visit us today or check us out at SouthernStatesBank.net. Southern States Bank, your community, your bank. That's 11 and FDIC, NMLS number 410611.
Hey, sports fans, it's Ron Peterson here, host of the Ron Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's the Ron Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE.
All right. They're ready to come in when they're ready to come in. Wow. This cremation thing really, whoo.
Known as Dynamite. The victory, later validated by the NLRB, was a civil offense.
Let's go ahead and close out the poll question. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we go to the end of the show and we get somebody. If you'd call me Max from Suppatory, you'd be cool, but you call me Weird Al, you must be kind of weird yourself. But I appreciate you. Anyway, you're in the RyanORadio Penitentiary in lockdown with the craziest inmates on the internet. So if you are a troll, you're probably going to go home crying. All right, to all the wonderful folks out there, I want to thank Brenda Ganske once again as we're talking about cremations and deaths and people selling body parts. Maybe that's how you can get rid of somebody there that you never mind. Anyway, which of these facts seems the weirdest? 34% of you say that Napoleon and his crew, that his army, which once was attacked by rabbits, 3,000 rabbits, 34% of the votes. Egyptian men and women's makeup, 15% of the votes. King Henry VIII was a doctor, 16% of the votes. And Alexander the Great was buried alive 6 days before they discovered him. That had the most votes, 35. Well, we got tied, 35% there and 35% there on Napoleon. So that ends the poll for you right there on this TGI Weird Wednesday. Tomorrow's True Crime Thursday. We'll talk about who killed WCW. Daily Dumas of the week. We'll talk some true crime news for you on the Thursday edition. And Friday's the birthday show. I'm going to have a good time on my birthday, so we'll be there. You missed the thing. Which thing? I'll tell you guys, I'm unable to read every comment on here because everything keeps popping up and everything. RyanORadio Penitentiary right here on 99.1 FM WQEE the Key and all over the internet, all over the world. And on streaming sites and everywhere else. And it's RyanORadio Penitentiary. I'm Ryan O'Neal. Nice to meet you there, Bailey. Is that Bailey? And everything. Yeah, we're going to have a good one on Friday. Your birthday's this week as well. Well, all big time stuff there. You know what that means. Well, I hear the bell ringing in the background. I hear that bell ringing. It's time to get done with this. All right, guys, we're going to get back for tomorrow's True Crime Thursday show, Friday's birthday show, birthday week buddies with Poopy Pie and Bailey this week. We'll appreciate that. And we're going to do that on Friday. But we'll see you guys later. Stay tuned for Health, Happiness, and Harmony Hour with Dr. Lewis Boynton, followed by, of course, Bible with Bob. And we'll have the best sports lineup in business, Rod Peterson Show, Sports Beat, Richard Holdridge, and the Braves Country Radio. Back here tomorrow morning. Peace, love, respect. I am out of here. Still hot, have water in her basement. Ugh. Better than being trolls in your basement, right, Cher? But at least I hope it gets fixed pretty soon. Back tomorrow. See you guys. Sorry, ABC. Whatever I didn't see, we'll try to get it tomorrow or whatever. Sorry about that, buddy. I need you to get your poll question. Let's see here. Be good or be good at it, y'all. There you go. I like that one, Wandering Hippie. All right, guys, I appreciate every one of you guys. It's always fun to have you guys on here and the build up and the build down and all the people that stay on and all the good stuff. And I don't know where Toby's at, praying that he's all right and everything. We hadn't heard from RW this morning, but I'm pretty sure. And Gail, I know she's aching in the tooth. That's why she's not here. All right, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Bailey, for saying I'm your favorite. Like, subscribe, and share to the page, and help a brother out at $RyanShelander, RyanShelander. That goes straight to my Cash App. Until we meet again, well, we got a lot of likes today. We'll see you on True Tuesdays edition. Got a question for Brenda is what? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try to get it over to me at 99classrock@gmail.com, and I'll ask her next month when she's on. All right, guys, we'll see you later.